What's up, guys? We're back with the Chill and Chill podcast. I've got the homies. We got Basic Trainer in the house filling in, and a little Pokemon Diener, aka
What's good, everybody?
What's good?
DNAO tonight. What's good?
How you doing, Basic?
I'm good. Friday, as always, last minute invite, but I always take them. You know, I'm you know what?
He's the pinch hitter of the hobby, bro. It's fine.
That sounds a lot better than what the term that I was going to use. So yeah.
Oh man, we'll be expecting Mr. Pikachu. I will be removing rock Pokemon from my friends list after this because he has bailed on us, friends. So, but yeah, we'll have Pikachu coming in a little later whenever he's done, and we'll just kind of give you guys an idea of how it went. I kind of wanted to have people that walked. Like, Basic was walking around a lot more than most of us. And then, DNA and Peak were like behind the table. So I just kind of wanted to have like a little bit of everything. And you guys had like weird stuff comparatively. Like you had a lot more Yu-Gi-Oh! Dina than most people in our section. So how did that do?
Yeah, surprisingly, and to what you just said, I probably had like 3.5 hours to walk around if I had to guess. So, I didn't hit all the tables. Every time I vend, I'm never able to hit all the tables. Mm-hmm. Never can hit the Metazoo booth to get those the free tendies, unfortunately.
Sweet promos.
Yeah, the sweet promos. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was super cool. I still haven't totaled everything up. I took notes for every sale and every single trade that I did.
Oh shit, nice.
But I have a rough idea of kind of where I was in line at, and I probably did up until like late Sunday night after I was hanging out with you, Retro, Josh, and a couple other people, Nick Old School. Me and Rock split off and went to the trade night that was kind of outside, and then we broke off into the Omni, I think it was. Oh, yeah. And I would say a good amount of my sales happened at between both of those and a lot of my trades. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh was cool. There was a lot of demand for it. Very, very shocked that I didn't bring near as much Yu-Gi-Oh as I should have, just because I didn't want to be like Greeny and come back and he's after like he's
total shit.
yeah, it's where he was like I didn't sell any of it, but I was telling Ernie before we hopped on a live, and there was a guy walking around with like a vintage like OG Yu-Gi-Oh t-shirt with like Bakura's Millennium Ring. It was like iced out, just like there was Yu-Gi-Oh everywhere. It was a really, really cool thing to see. I'm glad that I'm not the only person who huffs the fine Egyptian dust. So yeah.
It was everywhere. Honestly, I was surprised at how many tables had it raw, like graded, everything. Like, yeah, it's compared to the last few. Probably, I didn't really walk that much in Orlando either, so like I don't know how much was there, but shit, compared to any other one I've ever been to, it was probably triple as much Yu-Gi-Oh. Like,
yeah, there was a lot.
That's pretty interesting.
There was, I told Retro about this guy, and I think Josh saw him too, but there was a Yu-Gi-Oh whale there who had like the craziest stuff, like stuff that's like I never even thought I would see in person, like just wild stuff. Yeah, he had like one of the sickest ultimate rares in a PSA 10. I don't even know like what it would go for. He had a Red Eyes Black Dragon ulti in PSA 10. He had all of Tournament Pack 2, not with him, but in PSA 10, which like some of those cards, I mean, you're talking like 5-figure cards easily. Like Greeny was telling me he had one of the cards, I think that was out of that set, that it was like pop 3. And he graded the first one into PSA 10, and he said he probably estimated to be worth somewhere between like 100 to 150K, like just like super crazy stuff. So,
yikes. Okay.
Yeah. To my disappointment, I saw a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. Because I mean, I can spot a Blue Eyes. I wouldn't be able to tell you if it's a $5 Blue Eyes or if it's a $1 million Blue Eyes, but yeah, Dark Magician, things like that. But other than that, man, there was a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh. There was quite a few dedicated booths to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a single Pokemon card in sight. And so, but it was cool. It was cool to see it. I mean, that means the hobby's doing well, right? When all these other TCGs are thriving, then Pokemon's sitting well. So it's all good.
I will give you all one word of advice. If you're walking around the place and you see a new TCG, just keep walking. Do not engage. Do not engage. I'm sorry, but like you'll find yourself in a very odd conversation 9 times out of 10, I would say.
And you just have to just go, you just squeeze yourself, you push yourself through these awkward conversations, and then you just reach your hand out, right? You just go like this, and they just hand you Kickstarter packs, and you just keep them and you store
They
them.
weren't handing me shit, that's first of all. And I was kind of hot because I was like, maybe if I'm nice to these weirdos, they will give me free shit. That's like, give me something. And instead, I got a very odd conversation with a very dedicated man that I didn't ask for. So,
well, Basic and I walked up. One of Basic's friends walked up. He was talking about Metazoo, and he was like, "Hey, you have to go check out this booth. Like, it's gonna be the next like Metazoo. Like, it's gonna be the coolest thing ever." So this dude hands me. I think this is like a full set of the first set. I don't know. It's called Interstellar, and they have like this. It kind of feels like Metazoo. They said it didn't, but like they have these like really weird hollow foil. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's like it's hollow foil around the edges.
That's my favorite card, by the way, because I got a set myself. That was my favorite card out of the ones that I received, at least.
It's
kind of cool.
The swirls are crazy on them. I can see at the bottom. Yeah, but and then I got these 2 like Kickstarter, I guess, booster packs, and if we want to open it up, we can. I was gonna, invest and
it's
to see what we're doing.
Sealed investing is how we make money, right?
I mean, the dude did say that you're gonna get serialized out of those packs, so you can get it serialized.
Well, and he said that you could pull that full art. You know what I'm talking about? That card he was talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I mean, I can't remember the name, but it's like you'll know it. You'll know
it. Let me just big screen your ass. Hold up, little friend.
Yeah, we'll open up one. So
I'm just pouring myself.
We're burning money here, folks.
Pour myself another shot for Interstellar. Here's to Interstellar.
Cheers to Interstellar, dude.
We can't lose money because I didn't pay anything for this.
Because it was $0. Yes.
Serialized D's, Retro says.
What's up, Retro? How you doing, Landon? Landon, what's up?
That's kind of crazy looking. Ooh. Come on, autofocus. Okay. I have it on auto face focus. So I think that's the hollow. Yeah, so that's a reverse. So 1 per deck. This is like a reverse kind of too. This looks kind of cool.
Oh, nice. Oh shit, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so we didn't pull a full art.
So we bricked.
Interstellar, boys, put your orders in.
Yeah, get the Kickstarter. Get in that Kickstarter, boys.
We'll open up the other pack. I mean,
fuck it.
It's a Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Pick them up for $50 before they go to 10K.
Yeah, these are 10K later on. I'm gonna look back at the stream and be so
jumpy.
Yeah. Ooh, we got a Uranus. Let's go.
Hey, yo, we put that in plastic, huh? Shit.
10 that one.
I got a PSA 10 Uranus, boys.
Yeah, bro, that's fire.
And then this is called GMO.
Okay, ew.
We got Grave Robber, so that's the hollow. That's actually really cool. It's got hollow bleed all over it. So we didn't pull the full art. Shit, at least I don't think so.
Hollow bleed.
Kind of see the hollow borders.
That's
hollow bleed. You know that's rare.
Orion's belt. So I guess you get 2 hollows per set, or 2 hollows per.
Nice.
And then we got a
card frames. Looks sick.
We got a cattle ranch.
Hell yeah, that does remind me of a Metazoo card. Actually, I think there's like something like that.
But yeah, I don't think we made money. So
we probably did not.
Not until you grade you 10, and then you put them.
Uranus in a 10 is.
You gotta let them go on auction, 99 cents with $5.99 shipping.
No, we do not auction Uranus, dude. We fucking bin Uranus, dude.
A black label Uranus. That's all.
Black labeling Uranus. Good night,
bro. Black label, yes. Black label. Hell yeah.
Yikes.
But yeah,
that's not scary.
Tell us about your Metazoo experience. You said you and Ivy get to qualify, right?
Yeah. Which was total BS on Thursday. Thursday night, everyone gets an email about the change in your deadline. So essentially, you have a window, and you have to meet this deadline for you to be able to qualify for towers. And of course, the bastards that Metazoo is. I mean, and I,
whoa, shots fired. Chill out, chill out. Don't bite the hand that feeds you, huh?
Hey, Mike, you pissed me off, bro, because you messed up my Friday. You messed up my Friday evening. So, but regardless, I gotta qualify. I had to, go. We had to drive a whole hour to Plano, Texas, just to qualify for this freaking, tower that we had going on next month.
Oh my god, bro! What the fuck?
So, long story short, I went 3-0, but I had to lose on purpose just so that it doesn't extend further into the night. Still got out after like midnight. It was like 12:30. But yeah, just completely messed up the freaking evening.
Well, you drove to Dallas?
I drove to Dallas. Yeah, I drove to Fort Worth. Yeah.
How far is that from your house? Like from your
4 hours and a quarter.
Oh shit. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad for me. I love driving, so 4 hours and a quarter was a breeze. But then it was the whole after getting there 4 hours and a quarter and chilling for about 2 hours and a half. Then it's like back on the road for another hour, 2 hours round trip to be able to get into this local tournament. And they do it on purpose. They do it on purpose because they know that when Metazoo people start congregating in one location, they help out their partners. Then they throw this thing, and then they say, "Hey, in order to qualify for towers, you got to go to this event." And so there we are, like freaking.
Here's a wrench an hour away. Have fun, dummies.
But at least I'm in. At least I'm in. That's peace of mind. We don't have to.
Good.
I mean, yeah, it's sweet.
You just had to like play and win one or something. I don't.
You have to play, and you have to play it all the way through. You can't like show up, sign up, round one starts, and you're like, "All right, guys, I'm out." Because you get booted.
Rattle's here. Careful what we say. We don't want to.
Heck yeah, dude. Though, that's awesome.
That's great, though.
So Thrifty, you said before stream that you said that you didn't get a lot of opportunity to walk around. So run us through your Collecticon experience. How did that all roll out? Any sweet pickups? Any good deals?
The only thing I really went there to do is just sell everything. First of all, as the title implied, we're selling everything. So that's kind of what I was trying to do. I was gonna like walk it around, but then I ended up just finding opportunities to just like hang out and just get them buyouts thanks to the homie DNAO and the homie Ray, who was not able to join us tonight, but we do love him. We do very much. I was like I got like a vendor's badge, which was awesome. Somebody didn't use one at Rock Section, so I got to go in with the guys in the morning, and like I tried walking around then, but like it's hard to kind of do when people are setting up and like they're trying to do shit. So like it's when you can get you get first shots at the cards, but like it's annoying to deal with as a vendor, I would say probably also. So I don't want to like annoy people. But then I just like kind of hung out, and I was just like having a good time behind the booth and chilling with everybody, and kind of the day flew by. I didn't even realize like oh shit, I should be like out there like looking for shit. But honestly, I just like it didn't matter as long as like I sold some stuff, and I only needed to sell like a couple of cards to pay for the trip. So it's like as long as that's paid for, I'm like happy. And I ended up doing like way better than that. So I was like pretty pumped. And like the binder first like 5 minutes of the show or something when we got there.
The show hadn't even started. You walked up and Vortex was like right there. And I was like, hey, this is the guy. And then
this is the raw guy. Oh shit. Okay. And then so he just like starts looking through my binder, and I had like a certain price I wanted for it. And he got really close to that. And I was just like, bye. Like, thank you. So I started up like $1,400, and like I was like, didn't give a shit about it the rest of the day because I was like, we're a dub, like super dubbing, dude. like
Right.
It doesn't matter. So that was like a very good thing because I've been buying cards for that specifically to like have in the binder, and probably I probably could have got more for it, especially like binders are the fucking way. Like you can like basically like leverage having a binder, and these dudes trying to pay you shit like money for them. It's like, no, this is what is gonna sell this weekend. Like stop being a little bitch. You know what I mean? Like pay up, dog. Because like if you don't have a good binder, you could do very poorly at these things. You know what I mean? Like
what did the binder consist of?
it was like a lot of ARs, like the new ARs from the Japanese set. I have probably like 100 of those, and then like just like random stuff that I had gotten like a little collection from one of my sister's friends, and it was like 160 cards, and I made my money back in like 10 or 15 cards or something like that. So I had an extra like 100. It was like Evolutions EXs and just like random shit kind of like of all like from XY, mid XY to like tag teams. So, and it was just like regular run of the mill shit. And I was just like, yeah, sure. But I didn't realize how valuable having a binder is at one of those shows, honestly, because like that's the easiest way to make money. People love looking at binders. Like I'm never going without one again, honestly. I want to have more than one, even. Like,
yeah, if they're seeing quite a few people doing very well with singles, it's like, yeah, the next time I go, it's like
crazy.
I'm taking everything that I have. I have way too much. That's just, yeah, that's the move.
It's amazing, honestly. And like, I don't even like, when I was walking, I realized this, I'm like walking around the booths and there's no deals for, like, I didn't see that many deals on slabs, you know, where it's like, oh, that's underpriced, or like, you know, that hasn't been comped in a while. So it's like, and it's moved up or what, you know what I mean? I didn't feel like I was getting any good deals on slabs there. And so if you can just like mass buy and get like a good discount on raw singles, like that's super printy. But yeah, it's just like having a binder there is probably the easiest way to make money that I found. And then somebody asked about the Disney. I actually didn't really do much with the Disney. I was surprised, but I found a guy that was like willing to take the whole binder, and then he like started lowballing me, and I'm like, bro, fuck you, you know, like I'll move this shit on eBay. I don't care. Like I'm not just gonna take nothing for this shit. And then I ended up like I was walking around with Rock on Sunday, I think, and we were talking to some guy that was like about to buy a box at a booth, and we're like, yeah, the EV is super shit on these boxes, like telling him like not to buy it basically. And I was like, I have some cards in my backpack if you want to look at them, like from the set. And so he pulled out like 4 or 5 cards, and then he pays me, and it's Bobby Hundreds, the fucking guy. Hold on, my phone's ringing. Shit.
You can just mute up and we can talk, and then you can go answer it or whatever. But yeah, as far as binders, I'll kind of vamp on that while you're doing your thing. So I had something crazy pop up on Friday night, you know, an unforeseen circumstance to where I was planning on pricing on my binder, but I wasn't able to. The crappy thing about binders, in my opinion, that kind of stinks is like, I like to have space between my cases. You know, if you have them positioned up like this versus like this, you really don't have room at all on the table to have like a binder out. Like it's really difficult to have space for the binder. Mm-hmm. Brad was kind of like at the corner, so it kind of like worked where he was like here and here, to where he had like the corner where you just kind of like station it there, which is really awesome. Yeah. I was definitely jealous of that, but yeah, like you said, you know, raw's the move.
It's the way, dude.
So who's buying the raw? Is it like people going into the show? Is it other vendors? Is it whatnot people? Like who's targeting the binders?
Well, like above. In my opinion, you know, a lot of people who go to shows are just a lot of people in the hobby in general, right? You know, they're not going to be the ones to talk about this. You know, we say that we're the 1% of the hobby, you know, that are, you know, this involved and this engaged. Yeah, super engaged. But the big kicker with that is, you know, a lot of people just like the cards. They say, hey, this is cutesy, or hey, this is pretty, or whatever. And it's my favorite part about it. One is, even though I have Raw and eBay like very well organized, I have them like all spaced out in binders that are numbered. Like I know exactly where to go to find any Raw cards that are listed. It sucks to ship out a lot of Raw cards, right? Especially if someone orders one, then you got to pay the 60-cent label for tracking, so on and so forth. But the best part about it, though, is you have a reverse holo Pikachu from Evolving Skies that's 10 cents on TCG Player. You can't even sell that on eBay.
No.
It's stuff like that you don't want to sell on TCG Player. You can throw it in a binder. It's $2, and somebody walks by, and this is just like they enjoy Pokemon. They don't buy a lot. They just want some cool stuff. $2 is $2, right? Most people have $2 to spend, so they're going to swing by and pick it up. But yeah, dude, just like Sealed, Raw caters to everybody because people can grade it, they can and resell it. They can put it in a binder. They can do whatever. Raw has much more utility than slabs because slabs are maxed out.
Yeah, that also it's like your money goes so much further at a con if you're buying Raw. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's like that's what people are there for, is to like expand their collection, I feel like, or whatever. It's collect a con, you know what I mean? So it's not like make money a con, collect, a con, I don't know, whatever. But so the people that are there are like casuals, it's not, it was a lot of kids. It was a lot of like younger people. Like, I wonder how many, I didn't think about this, but I wonder how many people were actually from Texas. Like, that's what I like didn't think to even ask. Like,
I met a lot of people from Texas.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, you've got four, right? Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Houston.
Right.
All four of them in the top 11 of the most populated cities in the United States. Yeah. Yeah. So whenever you have a con in Texas, like, yeah, everyone's going to be there. The only people flying in are the vendors. The only people, flippers.
Really? You think so?
Flippers, you guys. I actually saw quite a few people locally from San Antonio that shops, around the corner that I just kind of walked up like, hey, man, do I know you? Like, do you have a shop in San Antonio? Like, yeah. I'm like, that's where I know you're from. And then we'll chop it up. But
that's so random. That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, Texas is freaking huge.
I should have, I didn't think about it until after. And I was just like, shit, dude. Because I don't know. I didn't think about it in Orlando either, really. I think it's something we should look more into it also.
Yeah, it was kind of a bummer to see. I know everybody's seen that video about the dude with the binder who stole stuff.
That's ass.
Yeah, and everybody's in a different position in life. Everybody makes certain decisions. It sucks to see that someone's put themselves in position, or thinks that stealing that is okay. It really sucks. It sucks to see. And Peak, who was not Peak that Chew, but the other Peak, who is next to Peak that Chew, he had like a $600 DBZ box that was stolen from him. So yeah.
You gotta watch your shit.
To see. Yeah.
Yikes, dude! I didn't hear any stories like that in Orlando, so that's kind of right. I don't remember hearing anything. I don't think so.
I don't remember any from Orlando, but I heard several stories in
Denver,
Long Beach. Long Beach, there was a guy, Graded Pokey Jesus. He had a PSA 8 Mysterious Pearl stolen from him, which is, a big card. Right? Yeah. And then
yikes, bro. Fuck.
He had a couple things stolen from him, and then there was a guy I bought some stuff from, and he had a bunch of sealed on display.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy walked past. He said this guy walked past him, and he was talking to somebody. He said out of the corner of his eye, he saw him yak and ETB, and start to walk away with it. And he started yelling at the guy, and these people stopped him because his buddies were around the guy, and they said that they were like, yo, what are you doing? And he said he's like, hey, put it back. And he was laughing and act like it was no big deal, and just put it back and walked away. And it's there really does need to be more security at this stuff, though, because I don't think they had scanners like metal detectors or any of that. And I just walked in with a suitcase because me and Peak that you split a table, and I just walked in and I had a backpack and a suitcase with my stuff in it. And I was they looked at me. I was like, I'm a vendor. And they're like, cool. Didn't even you can just do that every single time. Now you have to have a pass or anything. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, honestly.
They have security, Some of them are walking around. They're just
It's
like
minimal, bro.
It's like
It
six
was
of them for the
minimal.
entire floor, and they're not even really walking around. They're just like on the outside edges. No, it is very easy. It is very easy. I mean, and if you think about like, okay, so as I walked up, right, like what's a booth that made me extra nervous just seeing his stuff out there? Dan. Like Dan just has this stuff. Dan is way too.
He's got a fucking base set booster box just open, chilling, while he's eating his Popeyes chicken sandwich. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
you know what's funny? Like the coolest item that I thought he had was the Squirtle Squad Squirtle. And I took a look at it. I took a few pictures. When I put it back, he had it way in the front of the table on the edge. I put it on top of his base set. But I was like, no, bro, you can't have this guy out here.
He was like he had more protection over the native boxes than the fucking base set box. I swear to God, he's like, oh, don't touch my native. That's plus EV.
I mean, when you're on top of your table, right? Like it's you know, you think you've got it all covered, but then you get swarmed by potential buyers, and it's just oof. I remember at Long Beach, I was talking to Ken Lee and the forget his crew from Florida. But I was like, hey, you know, I'm vending, got X amount of cars. I'm thinking not getting the cases. He says, get the cases. I was like, oh yeah. He goes, dude, straight up.
You're gonna want those cases, dog.
People will fucking steal. And I was like, for real? He goes, people are people, dude. If they just see the opportunity, they might have never stolen in their life. They were gonna go for it. And you know, then we have that situation, you know, with over in California at what's that show that happens a couple times a week? That rattle.
Oh, Burbank or fucking David Adams or something. Yeah. Right?
But that guy, if that guy is willing to freaking throw it all away for a PSA 4 shadowless, forget about it. Yeah, forget about it. You got to go cases. You got to go everything behind. Yeah. You know, just like sometimes when you go to freaking in your stores, everything behind a glass freaking, you know, door. You got to freaking get the key. You got to do all that stuff now.
It's crazy, honestly. And some people didn't have, like, there wasn't enough cases, at least from what I heard. Like Josh, the old card shop, he got super wrecked by the guy, like, he bought a table from, like, on the secondary market. We will not say from who. And did not get a case with his table. And it was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I paid all this money for a table and I don't get nothing. Like, and he was just like, sorry, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And then there's a dude I watch his vlogs. He did like a Collecticon vlog. And he didn't have cases either. And I was like, what the hell, dude? Like, I guess we must have gotten lucky. Or like,
no, you just have to order them in advance is what
no, they did order them. He just, like, they didn't have enough. I'm pretty sure it was the problem. Like, because all these people definitely ordered them. They know what they're doing. Like, but they just didn't get them. So it was super dark. But luckily Nick had an extra one for Josh, so that was good. And he just had, like, he was cramming shit in his case. Like, I was like, bro, people can't see the cards. You got to, like, spread it out a little or chill out.
Brad just put his favorite quote of the week. And I think one of my favorite, like, memorable moments was because I didn't get a lot of time, like, in the section to, like, talk and hang out with a lot of people. It was me, Basic. I think Ivy was there. There might have been a couple other people, like, around, and Basic was trying to buy Dan's Squirtle Squad. And he was like, how much you want for this? And Dan's like, it's not for sale. And he was like, 150. And Dan was like, no, man. He was like, 200, 250. And Dan was like, quit making me offers because it makes me feel bad turning down offers. Like, he's like, I don't like this because then I feel really stupid for not taking this.
He loves selling cards.
It was hilarious. So hilarious. I made a post out of it because I started out low. No, now I got to go high. Once I went high, he was like, no, I can't do that to you. So I'm like, I'm either too low or too high. Where is it? Like, where am I? I need this card.
Oh, that's so funny, dude. Yeah, he'll leave it to you. As long as you put it in your will, Dan, will be. As long as it's left to basic trainer, it'll be fine.
So Thrifty, did you buy anything at all?
The only thing I really bought was my Pikachu for a Riga from Tennis Wolf.
That was a sweet pickup.
I fucking love that card. First of all, basic. How much would you have charged me for the 9?
I didn't even comp. Like whatever the comp is, like go up 25%.
Fuck you, dude.
I'm not selling my 9s, bro. Like you're crazy. You know how hard it is. You know how hard it is to come by 9s, Japanese.
That card is really. All the copies online are fucked. Like
it's
super
ridiculous.
duper fucked. Like. So I was happy to get one from Tennis Wolf. It's got a little wear, but honestly, like if I'm just gonna off the card, like authenticate the card anyways, and hopefully be able to grade the auto, like that's all that I really care about anyways. So, and yeah, it's so pretty. And he gave me the homie price, and can't beat it, dude. Homies helping homies.
Dan, I was well under 500. My top bid was 250, and you. What did I start at?
500. Shit, did you for real offer him 500 for the fucking?
No. I started at 125, 150. He said no, not selling. I went up to 250. That's when he started thinking, and then he says, "No, that's too high. That's too high. I'm not selling." So I'm like,
that's too high, but that's too low. Like, what do I do? What do I gotta do? Oh shit.
Crazy.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, and like all shows, I think it was really interesting to see, like, I want to hear y'all's take on this, I guess, or like your experience with this. So there's a lot of people who are really overpriced, and I know Dan talks about this on his Collecticon prep videos. You know, it's like a big thing. It's like you bring stuff you think you can sell, you price it well, so you don't have to negotiate. You don't have people, because it's just like, it's like window shopping for a car or anything, you know, right? It's, if I walk up to a 2005 Honda Civic with, 200,000 miles on it and it says 10K window sticker, I'm going to keep walking. I'm not even going to, look at that. Just like a car that I know is 250, it's priced at 350. It's like, yeah, I could walk up and negotiate, but am I, what's up, man?
What's going on, Pete?
What's going on, guys? I've had a front row seat to this for a good while.
Sorry, dude. I'm so...
I was like, check your lobby. Check your lobby. Hello. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, we're just talking about our experience at Collecticon, and I was talking about prices and stuff, just on a few different things. But yeah, I guess it's just mind blowing, like the amount of people that overprice stuff. And there was raw cards that I was looking at. It was like the very end of Sunday, and it was kind of some more exclusive, Japanese like Pikachu promos and like Battle Festas and a few other things, and they were priced like double what I know I can pick them up for online. And they were like in, PSA 8, PSA 9 condition. Like, but I was just kind of, just flipping through stuff. And I was like, man, you want like 800 for this? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, man, like, not to disrespect, but I was like, that's a little steep. I was like, are you negotiable on this? And he was like, no, he goes, I'm really not. He goes, we came with 3, and he goes, and we sold 2 for this price. He basically was like, hey, I know it sounds high, but like we sell them for this price. And I was like, hey man, like, no disrespect. Like, it's your stuff. You do what you want to do. If you can get 800 for this, like, dude, that's super sick.
More power to you, bro. Shit.
Yeah. More power to you. But it's just like wild that, I don't know. I just would never do that at Collecticon. Like, I mean,
no.
Peak, you were priced, pretty appropriately, weren't you? Would you say, like, in line with comps and stuff?
For the most part. I mean, there was a couple of cards that I really didn't feel like selling in person, I guess. I know that kind of sounds weird, but it was like, I mean, I'm here. I'm going to price them just more for like, oh, wow, there's a comma in this price, for the most part. Like, I had my JR Stamp Rally Mew that I really don't want to sell because I'm waiting on the Fuji Pikachu to, like, match it up one day.
That you're never going to fucking grade.
Dude, I've got 3. Okay, I have 3 that I'm sending out, actually, in this next sub. And, like, best candidates I've ever had. Like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in this
All right,
sub.
well, send me pictures and I'll tell you they're all 9s. It's fine, don't worry.
The centering sucks. The centering is the hardest part, but
don't send them all at once. Do not send them all at once. That's my opinion.
Like, they're already
every time I send like Surefire PSA 10s and I send like 5 of them, it's like I get 3 10s and I get like 2 8s, and I'm like, yo, and I crack them and they're like,
I just flawless. Need 110, man. I just need to get the pop past 14. I don't care if I get 9s in the others. That's my whole thing. Is like, if I can just get 110, that's all I need. So yeah, Thrifty was right on the last one I did, which is the PSA 9, which actually basic. That's the one you bought. Thrifty called that grade like out the gate. She was like, I don't know, man. I think it's a 9. I was like, well,
I'm sorry to dash your whole dream. But
That's when I win.
I was
That's when I win.
hoping. Yeah,
You took
right.
the dump on that
When I
one.
win.
But the yeah, I think that was the only card I really had overpriced. I mean, everything else was for the most part right at market. Most of it was really under market. Because the majority I sold at Collecticon was Dragon Ball. I sold more of that than I did Pokemon, which was really surprising. But everything was like within
Bro,
$5-10
you
a
only had
cost.
Dragon Ball. What are you talking about? You had
No, I
like
had a
4
few.
Pokemon items.
Zelda,
I had a few.
Dragon Ball, like shit was popping. Like
Actually, the first thing I sold was the Zelda slab. So that was to Bryce. Shout out Bryce, Butter Bryce. I think is what
Bryce!
his
Thank
Instagram
God
is.
for Bryce. Jesus
Good
Christ.
dude. Good dude.
Thank God. I got Metazoo represented. We got Zelda and DBZ, and then we got Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I hit it all. I hit all the fucking points tonight, dude.
I will say, DNA, you got asked about Yu-Gi-Oh a lot more than I expected, because there was no Yu-Gi-Oh talk in Denver, from what I remember.
That's what I'm saying. We were
you
talking about that earlier, bro. It was crazy.
Dude, the amount of people who were asking, and I think this could be a contributing factor, but I think it's because everybody in the booth knew I had Yu-Gi-Oh, and I know that Rock was over in Kanto Shark's booth, and he was sending everybody Yu-Gi-Oh over. Like these guys, he sent over to me. They picked up I think 12 Yu-Gi-Oh slabs in total. Like this group of 3 guys, like that he sent over to me. So I think that probably helped out. Was that because we were in the very back too. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh, Gold Stars, and Gold Stars. I got Pete can attest, like everybody wanted a Gold Star. Like there was probably 40 people who walked up to my table asking about Gold Stars.
Gold
that
Stars
was
and alt arts. That's all people wanted.
Yeah, that was the hot
Kinda
commodity.
Funny, yeah.
Arsenal.
Which are completely different
just-
spectrums you would imagine. But
funny, dude.
I just remember at one point I just took a lap around your guys' booth and the island, and everyone's just kind of checking out just checking out the cases and whatnot. I go over to old school. Old school is just freaking putting out the freaking altars, pulling out the freaking full arts, modern, nothing but modern, and these guys are just freaking eating it all up. And I'm like, yo, modern prints, yo, like.
Well, you knew this from last time, like when we all went to Denver. That's that's what it is. I mean, that's what people want. So it's like Nick did really well from what I remember.
Yeah, he
pulled a
did.
jump pluff. Unfortunately, that
He
was
pulled
kind of
a jump pluff though.
he pulled a PSA 8 jump pluff, but beyond that, he did really good. I think everybody for the most part had a decent amount of sales. I think there was enough variety there and enough demand variety in Dallas that actually made everybody's trip at least worth it, or at least paid for the trip, because that's one thing that I ran into in Denver, and I think other people did who went niche. Denver wanted nothing but Pokemon. That could either be location or timing or whatever it is, but Dallas seemed to be a very mixed bag. I had people ask me for Yu-Gi-Oh and I was confused. I was like, "What did you ask me for?"
Wait a minute. You mean Charizard or Starlight Dragon? Whatever the fuck that is.
Not the bootleg Charizard.
Stardust.
Dragon.
Whatever.
Dust in the name. Dust in the name.
I don't know. I got
Stardust.
nothing. I got nothing.
But that was one thing that was kind of nice. It's like, hey, do you have Yu-Gi-Oh? I was like, no, this guy does. Or do you have? I can't remember what DNA, because you and I vended next to each other. I can't remember. There was something that Brad had. Maybe it was Score or
he had
something else. That's right. Somebody asked us One Piece. I'm like, oh, that guy has it. So
Ray has
One Piece,
One Piece, dude. That was fire.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the cool thing, is being able to hear people want all these different things, and somebody in our section had it. So that was the fun thing about vending with all the different personalities and people, is we all had a little bit of something.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I keep hearing that there's going to be a ton of people in, is it Kansas City or Charlotte?
Charlotte,
like four or five islands, and there's
Charlotte,
and Dan's concerned, where are we going to fit everybody, right? Like, where is everyone going to fit? Like, I mean, do you then go, this is the Yu-Gi-Oh section, that's the Yu-Gi-Oh island, that's the Pokemon island, that's the Dragon Ball Z island, that's the Metazoo island? No?
That's not going to be a thing, huh?
Can I get one case? Can I get one case in there?
You might get one case if you're lucky, bro. That's it. That's all I got.
That's the one under the big yellow clearance sign over there in the corner.
I'm gonna keep Yu-Gi-Oh at about 20%, because if I bring all Yu-Gi-Oh, the chance to brick heavily is
higher.
It's super big. It's higher. It's like it's hot or it's not. So
Well, it's interesting seeing that, because the people who came over to you, they were either selling or buying like a good amount. It wasn't like, oh, let me grab this one card. Like that was one thing that I found interesting is, and I don't know what your guys' experience was. I mean, Thrifty got bought out like within the first half hour, of course. So she's figured it out. But my thought is like, it's like, does it make sense to bring something that people are going to buy bulk of, like a large amount of quantity off of you? Or is it like go with the safe bet, new Pokemon, and maybe sell single slab to like a lot of people? Like personally, I would want to sell like a good amount of stuff in each individual sale just to liquidate inventory, which that's what I ran into at Dragon Ball. I had multiple people like, hey, will you make me a deal on 5 slabs? Can I buy these 4? Like that was the cool thing about that. And I did a big trade deal where it was like, they wanted Pokemon, but I came out like ahead of that really well. And it was for a Dragon Ball item. So that was kind of like, I used Pokemon as almost more like leverage and a little bit of like supplemental for the sales there. But I don't know. It was just such a fun experience and such a different experience than what I experienced in Denver, because Denver was very like, where are the slabs at? Where's Pokemon? And Travis like saved everybody, like for the most part.
Travis did that again. Honestly, like, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. Even like not like expensive stuff, like very cheap stuff wasn't. I don't know. I like maybe I wasn't behind the case long enough, or I didn't have enough in the case. But I had like Glaceon alt, like V-Star Universe, like alts, and all the evolutions. The dogs. Like I tried to have liquid ass shit, and like I don't know, maybe it was like our location or something, but nobody was biting. So I was like, fuck this. I got to do the buyout now. Shit. Like, I didn't want to do that, but.
I think that we can all like spec and we can say, hey, Denver was like this and Orlando was like this. Let's take our, last 3 collecticons, combined and take our overall average experience to prep for the next one. But I think they're just all going to be different. And
a little bit, like a little.
Yeah,
bit.
and because we were talking about early basic, everybody's from Texas, so the people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area might, be less susceptible to buy X items or whatever it is, and a lot of people, I'm not contributing this to Dallas, but it seemed like the vast majority of people were relatively cash poor, and they were trying to sell a lot of stuff and not buy high-end expensive items. Like my higher end stuff, I think the most expensive slab I sold was like $340, and like some of like the sauce per se, of like some of the cooler, like higher end stuff that I had. Not even one question about it. So it's like,
I think that's more vendor bait too. Like that, the high end for you it could be like trade nights.
That's what I brought to the trade nights.
Bait.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Cause like those people are the ones that are fucking liquid is the vendors. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like Dan said.
I think it was it was definitely a buyer's convention for my experience there. Like if you were there to buy stuff or like, I would say probably get a decent amount of deals. I read that with Dan. That's true. But I think if you were there to buy, like there was a lot of opportunity for you. To echo what some people have said, like I don't think the raw opportunity was there because I think most people, almost every booth that I saw put out stuff that was just not like, it's stuff they didn't want to grade for whatever reason. It was their PSA 7 and 8s. And that, I mean, there was a lot of that at the booths because on Sunday afternoon, I like walked around and did whatever. But there were some CGC plays to be had because there were so many CGC slabs. And I can't tell you how many people were like, they bring the Zion case, this massive case. You're expecting like, what trophies is this guy pulling out? And he's like, how many 8.5s you need, dude? And it was like just random stuff, like some vintage, like a ton of modern, like, or back when like CGC's prices were less and everybody was grading like every energy, every card they could, like it was a lot of 3.7, 3.8 cert 8.5s. And these guys were just trying to dump this stuff.
That's not the worst thing to buy, honestly, also. Like,
well, and like my thing that I like to do, right? If I'm going to look at raw cards to buy, because I bought a decent amount of raw while I was there, not like a ton, but not as much as Orlando, not as much as I would have liked to have, but I did a lot of trade nights and took a lot in on trade and stuff like that. And if you're walking around at booths, one, you want to be respectful to the vendors, right? Because if you're someone like old school Pokemon, who has like a ton of the vintage WotC stuff, he's going to tell you, hey, probably doesn't make sense to grade this unless you just want to grade it yourself, kind of thing. Like he's going to be up front. And like that's something I try to ask vendors, but I'm not going to booths specifically looking for vintage raw singles. because it's not very conducive of my time to go through 50 singles and then put all of them back and not buy a single thing. One, because I feel terrible. I feel awful doing that. You're hogging up their booth. You're being a table hog, and you just go after, stuff that is printed well and is typically minty, and, just kind of go from there. And there's enough to be had for multiple sections to buy stuff, because I'm going to miss stuff. Basics going to miss stuff. Peak's going to miss stuff. So I do want to tell a quick story that was like another one of my favorite things that happened was this involves Peak. So he had some family members that pulled up with a bunch of, extra stuff. And he had a VHS tape of it was Jurassic Park with whatever grading company. What grading company was it?
It was Beckett, man.
Yeah. So Beckett VHS tape 8.0.
First print, my dude.
It's the rookie Jurassic Park.
Rookie Jurassic Park. That's important to clarify for people.
So he pulls it out, and he's like talking about it, looking at it or whatever. And he wants to set it up.
I'm ready to
he
go.
wants to set it up on display, and I'm like, this was my experience in Orlando, right? So I have a sealed Pokédex somewhere back here on one of this shelves that goes all the way across my wall. I don't want to list it on eBay. I just want to bring it to conventions. I'm kind of like in a debacle because I hate shipping weird stuff. And the thing is, I brought it to Orlando. I had it on display up front, and we were right up front. So every single person who walked past my booth was like, "Oh my God, this is so cool." And they would like pick it up and look at it. Nobody bought it. And it's like the people looking at it like, "Oh, I had one of these as a kid." And it's like, no disrespect to, whoever's there, but it's like, hey, like, I'm here to make money. I want to talk to people. I want to make connections, make friends. Like, but if you're going to sit here and talk to me for 20 minutes, it's like skedaddle. So that was the problem that I had with the Pokédex, was that, everybody's walking by, they were picking it up and not buying it. And it was very frustrating because I figured somebody would buy it because there's probably 100 people that picked this thing up and looked at it. So Pete put it on display, and I was
What did I put it in front of? What did I put it in front of, by the way?
You put it in front of your
UPC.
Yeah, he put it in front of his UPC, and I was literally, the words were coming out of my mouth, and I was going to say this. I was going to say, hey, I wouldn't put this out there because everybody's going to walk past the booth. They're going to table hog, and they're going to say, hey, this is really cool. I didn't know they grade VHSs. I love Jurassic Park, all this stuff. Nobody is going to buy it. As I'm like starting to say that, this guy walks up and he's like, oh, this is really cool. I didn't know they grade VHSs, and says that like exactly what I was going to say. Dude buys it on the spot for what Peak asked. First guy. And we were both like, what? Yeah.
So DNA did get that. DNA did get that phrase out. He was like, don't put that in front of your UPC. What are you doing? It was so like timing wise going to be perfect. This guy walks in, he goes, VHS Jurassic Park. He's like, how much you want? And out of my chair, I was like $150, and he's like, I'll buy it right now.
It's my favorite movie.
And yeah, it's my favorite movie of all time. I'll buy it now. And like as he's handing over the cash, I kid you not, I'm just staring at DNA.
I would have just stink-eyed the fuck out of you.
That's great. Well, the guy even said he's like, if you told me more, I would have like bought it. Because that's the thing, is like that's what I really liked about Dallas, is like people were just open to stuff. Like that was cool. And I'm not saying that was like overpriced, underpriced, none of the above, but that's a funny story. That was actually a really funny moment while we were there.
What about your?
I wonder if he's gonna
Oh shit! Is it Peak cutting out, or is it me?
You.
Yeah, I'm hearing you cut out right now.
Fuck. All right.
You're good.
Is
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I can still hear you. It's just some of the videos a little laggy.
Okay, we're good now.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I hate this. Dan is right. I need to get a fucking hard line. This is annoying.
Mason had a good point. He said, perfect example of convention casual buyers. They don't know what they want until they see it. Very true.
That's interesting. What about your buyout experience, Peak? How'd it go? I wanted the people to hear the story.
So, Thrifty and I always crack up because like buyouts are completely against my business model. It's like I'm extremely niche and like completely illiquid. So you're basically the complete opposite of what Whatnot's looking for. So I was talking to Travis. I've met him like a few times. He's been at most of the events that I've been to, and he was he's just there. I was like, "What's going on, man? How you doing?" You know, he's making the rounds, blah blah blah. And he's just sitting there, staring at my case for like probably 5 whole minutes, and he's like, dude, I'm trying so hard. And he just couldn't like, there was nothing that he could like make work because it was either extremely cheap Pokemon. I say extremely cheap as in like $20 to $30, but not like anything like, like you would see auction off probably more than that. And it was like Dragon Ball, and they don't really do Dragon Ball. So like that was a pretty funny thing. I've never been bought out. I never expected.
I can't help you, dude. I'm sorry. I can't help you.
Well, and the funny thing was he was talking to Travis was looking at his stuff, and Travis was like, I'm trying. He's like, yeah, he's like, that's not the, he literally said that exactly. He's like, that's not the way my business model is set up. He's like, I'm extremely niche in a liquid. And I was like, wow, great way to sell yourself. I was like,
yeah.
Dude, the money's in the niches for sure. Not the buyout money, not the 70%. No.
Just but the 100%. The 100% money. That's fire.
Y'all can piss off in chat. It was like pouring outside, but like right before the stream. So instead of like a part-time lifeguard and giving y'all weather updates, I can change if you want me to.
Bro looked like he was in a tropical storm or something.
I was like, what is all that static? And it's just DNA's jacket.
It's DNA's jacket.
Yeah, all the static I'm causing Thrifty to lag out.
Mason's like, dude, literally wanting to give you money but can't. That's exactly what it was. Because like we're cool, like he knows who I am, and like we talk, and then he's like, "Dude, I just want to hand you money, but I literally can't at all."
I got to meet Landon too. G1T Landon. I got to meet him in Dallas, so that was super cool.
The homies were afoot in Dallas, bro. It was a good time. Landon was there. We had Bryce. Who else did we meet?
Yeah, G1T. I'm walking, and someone tasked me basic, and I was like, "Yo." And didn't know who the guy was just right away. He goes G1T, and I'm like, oh, G1T. I was like, G1T Landon. I was like, oh, G1T Landon. That's what
I got you, bro. Yeah.
I'm like, what's up, bro? G1T Landon, hell yeah.
No, Landon's awesome. Yeah, he was one of the first people who I saw like on Saturday morning. He was like ready to go. Like, what's up, guys? Him and Bryce both. They were like super pumped to like hang out and do some stuff. So. Shout out to Landon. He's awesome.
It was a good time meeting. It was like funny. I think I got recognized for the first time, like not at the booth, like around everybody. And I was like, whoa, this is weird, dude. I was like, I don't know. This is odd. But I was like hanging out with the dude. And I was like, do you have a screen name? Like, what's your screen name? He's like, nah, I just lurk. I'm like, bro, that's so cool. What's up, dude? Like, it was just funny. I'm just like looking at raw cards in a binder somewhere, and some dude's like, Thrifty? I'm like, are we what?
Yeah, the other peak that we had, PEAK, he was vending next to me the whole show. And every time like somebody'd say peak, we're all like, what?
Oh, that's so rough, dude. And you guys are right next to each other. Oh,
we're right next to each other. But
never again, bro.
We had a trade up challenge of a guy. And DNA, you remember this guy? I got tagged on this in Discord today.
Yeah, I didn't comment on it because if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
No, I want to hear you talk shit.
Actually. I did not abide by that advice, but like, dude, I've never had a trade up challenge be sold to me like a business presentation in my life. I was given like YouTube stats, at like how many followers, what it started with, the backstory, and I was like, I'm all good. I was like, this guy over here, Nick, old school Pokemon. He will make it worth your while. That is where all my trade-up challenges go. And yeah, I don't know. I just remembered that guy when I was thinking DNA like back to some moments that we had, and I just remembered the sales pitch that we got from that guy for his trade-up challenge. It was brutal.
Yeah, he like walked away, and I was like, the only thing I said was like, man, that was really cringy. Like I can't watch like certain episodes of The Office and like I have like cringe. Like my ex-girlfriend used to get so mad at me because we like watching something. I'd be like I've like fast forward.
Like leave the room.
I get like secondhand embarrassment like really really bad, and like I almost had to walk away at certain points when this dude was like talking because I was just like, ooh, like it was bad. It was really bad.
And I can talk to like just about anybody, and like this was one where I was like, I'm so checked out within the first 5 seconds. I'm like, dude, I can't do this.
What did the guy have? What was he offering?
So
he started with a paperclip. I do remember that part, and then after that I completely checked out because I realized what we were about to talk about, and I didn't care from them. I heard started with a paperclip, and I'm at $800 maybe in value or something. And I was like, I had quit listening. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
This is the most accurate statement I've ever heard.
There's
I've ever read in all my
1345.
life. And or all set. Yes, that's true.
That's pretty great.
But yeah, so basic. Did you? I told you that I was upset with you the show. I said, bro, I said I'm a little bit mad at you because I always go there and I'm like, man, I'm gonna get to hang out with Thrifty, Peak, Retro, like Ernie, like all the people
Basic
that are coming.
The ghost of
and I'm like,
I swear to God. Bro.
I was like, he's like, yeah, bro, I'm going to Dallas. You're going, sick, awesome. We're gonna hang out. And he's like, skirt, like just completely elusive. So
he's like, sorry, Mike Waddell called. I'm out. I'll talk to you later.
Guys.
Yeah, exactly. I went to Peak's lunch, but by the way, that was awesome. That was an awesome, cool event there. A bunch of cool people, but I was just not. When that you got to pull out at a certain time to freaking now do a 1 hour drive, for a freaking tournament. I was just not. I mean, it was fun. It was a good vibe, but I just knew that it was going to be short lived, and it sucked, right? But I had to do what I had to do. And then I think it was Rock that hit me up, Rock and Dan, at some point in the night, like, hey, what's going on? Are you still in the tournament? I was like, dude, I'm in like round 3 right now. They're 1 hour rounds. They're run. It's best 2 out of 3, 1 hour. And sure, you can finish your round in 10 minutes, but you got to wait for everyone to finish their freaking rounds. And some of these go for over an hour because of extra time. So I had to finish that up. And then on Saturday, I would just beat. And then once I started, I wanted to figure out what everyone was doing. It's like, oh, come to the.
There's so many things you could possibly do. Making up your mind is impossible.
Yeah. But the only one that I was aware of was the casino event, trade night thing. And then once I heard it was $20, I was like, deuces, I'm out.
Well, dude,
it was a good time. It's actually
the value there. The value at that event was incredible because I'll go over like a quick recap of that. So it was like a casino trade night kind of thing. And it was like $20 to enter. And I was with a group of people and I was like, whatever. I was like, I'll do it. So paid $20 and they were like trying to hand me all this free stuff, like t-shirts. I didn't take any of it because it's just kind of like shoddy t-shirts,
I took 4 shirts.
You did?
I'll take dude, for sure. I'll take shirts, bracelets, koozies. Like,
are they on eBay right now?
Collect Tech Summit.
But yeah,
Leon Hart sneezed on this, like $100.
You know what? Let me look those items up right now. Let me see if they are up.
So you walk in though, and they had like really good food, like at a buffet, like it was like catered, and it was all free. And then like the drinks weren't free because I was talking to the event owner and he for a little bit, and he I was in the drink line and I was started talking to him, super cool dude, and he was like, hey, I feel really bad. You guys are in the drink line, right? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, hey, I feel really bad because we wanted to have an open bar. But the thing is that the hotel that we're at, they charged per head. So he said that, half the people aren't going to drink, half the people are. It's going to make the barrier to entry more expensive to get in. Less people are going to come. It's going to be kind of crappy. So he was like, that's why, we didn't pay for drinks. So he said, he told the bartender, he said, hey, give me $500 in drink tickets. So he bought $500 in drink tickets and then gave us all 2 free drink tickets. So I walked in for $20. I got dinner. I got 2 free drinks. I made some sweet pickups and like deals. And then Greenie, I'm a dummy and I should have sold my casino chips because the dollar value with the chips of like the giveaway prizes, because basically you would gamble to get more chips to like pay for prizes, kind of like it was like blackjack, Chuck E. Cheese kind of thing. So the dollar value was offset to where it was like $20 in chips is like $40 in prize money.
Shit, okay.
So like there was a guy walking around just buying people's chips and just like getting stuff, and Greenie sold his for 20. I wish I had sold mine. So Greenie basically sold his chip for $20 and got a free entry, nice. Got free dinner and stuff like that. So it was a really fun event though. Yeah.
The prizes were sick. If you like sneakers, like the prizes were like where it was at. Like they were so much value. If you just like had people give you chips or like you bought them or whatever, somebody could have bought like $80 worth of chips and walked away with like almost $300 worth of shoes. Like,
holy shit, really?
No problem. Because I thought it was a raffle is the way they did. Because they had this whole wall and they were like, here's how many chips you need to get this. And I thought it was like, oh, you got 2,000 chips? Cool. Your name's in this tub or whatever. No, it was just all free for all. Like you walk up, it's like, I have 2,000 chips. I'll take those shoes right there. I'll take this over here. It's like, Yeah, nobody realized that, and they also had like an entire panel going, like speaking
Nobody
and
was
talking
listening,
about
yeah.
very serious stuff. Like it was kind
Talking
of
about like
it was
NFTs. Yeah, nobody.
it was organized. It was organized chaos. It definitely was, but it was a good time. It was actually really fun.
Everyone was just there for the slabs, the booze, and whatever.
There's
Rhyme
nothing
it,
wrong with that.
rhyme it. You're trying.
Keep going, baby.
You
Spit.
couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
He's trying though.
You should have grabbed some shirts though, DNA. That was the play.
I
Bro,
saw
I
some
don't
dudes
want
with the
crappy
shirt.
t-shirts.
Yeah, some dudes on my plane were wearing the shirt, and I was like, oh, okay. I see what
They
we're
actually wore them. That's awesome.
on the plane. I was like, okay.
So what was did any of you guys stand in line for anyone?
For what?
I saw you got to meet Chuck Norris, but I didn't stand
Chuck
in line.
Norris.
I
I've
did
never
meet
stood in
Chuck
line for
Norris.
anything at Collecticon.
That's the only dude I went up to walk up, literally not cut line, but I went up to the front. I'm like, that's Chuck Norris. And then I just
You just put some eyes on him. Yeah. So I
That's
did that.
that's Chuck
I did
Norris.
that on Saturday, but Sunday I was like, I'm going to make it a point to like meet this guy. So I on Sunday, so he was supposed to be there at 10 a.m. And so at like 9:40, nobody's in line, nobody's waiting. So I just went up and just waited at the front. And then I slowly had people like realize I was in line. Like, are you in line? Are you waiting? Oh man, that's crazy. And I was like, dude, I just want to meet him and get it over with. Because there were so many people waiting for him and the Pink Ranger. The Pink Ranger was like this 10-mile long line or whatever. But so I just hung out there until 10 a.m. And then his manager came out and was like, hey, he's not going to be here until 11:30. He's running late.
Shit.
Dude's 83 years old. Like, he could be like
He's
6
83?
hours late. He's
That's
83.
crazy, dude.
Dude, he looks good for 83.
He looks real good for
amazing.
83.
He looks
Yeah,
amazing.
and he's sharp, like still having conversation, you know. So like, I told him, I was like, well, dude, I'm ending the show. Like, I'm not gonna like walk back over here at lunchtime with all the GAs and like try and like wait for 4 hours. And he like took out this like the tiniest like sticky note pad, like not the regular size, but like this big, and he just wrote something like something his initials, like VIP access, I think is what it said. And he was like, just walk up like whenever you come back. And I was like, okay, cool. So then I went back and just walked up, and all these people, the death stare tension that I felt like was pretty awful. They're just like,
You felt like you
who
didn't
the
return a
F is
shopping
this
cart.
guy?
Oh.
Yeah. They were like, who the F is this guy? And I just got to walk up and just talk to him. And then he started like old man rambling a little bit. Like it was like 5 or so minutes. And then at that point, his guy was like, all right, come on, Chuck.
All right, we gotta get
get
you.
like going through.
Keep this moving, bro.
But no, it was awesome. I mean, this dude roundhoused our childhoods. Like, why not meet this guy? Like, he's 83. I'm not meeting him like in 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good luck. He's gonna be
But
great.
I thought Thrifty, I thought you waited in line and got something signed. I thought you actually did that.
Yeah, I met the Dark Magician girl. She was very cool. She was actually really nice too.
Erica Schroeder?
Something
What
like
is
that. I forget.
Man, what an auto flipper. Whatever her name was.
I forget what her last name is. I know her first name's Erica. That's all I got.
I think it's Schroeder or something like that.
Yeah.
But basically, you
She's
put
nice.
eyes on Chuck Norris. DNA, I don't even think you left the booth. Right?
I did.
Did you
I
get a
left-
chance to
I-
walk
I
around
left
for a
like-
bit?
Yeah, like 3.5 hours. I was going for quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Walking around, but I didn't even make it to the auto side. I pretty much just stayed on the right side the whole entire time. That's kind of what I did. Erica Schroeder is her name.
Schroeder, yeah.
Yeah, it'd have been cool to have her son a Dark Magician girl, but the thing is like it's like $50 or 40.
It was like
$60.
$60, dude. It was 60.
Exactly. I gotta wait in line. I'm not vending. Like
Also,
not worth
vendor access is also technically VIP access. Sorry, not sorry. Do not wait in line. We don't.
Vendor access is act like you belong access.
Oh no way! She voiced
doesn't
my
matter-
Valentine and Akiza Azinci from Yu-Gi-Oh. That's wild. That's super cool. I think it'd be awesome to have some Yu-Gi-Oh Bandai and have her sign some of those cards.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's I don't know. It was cool to meet. Like, who else was there? Yeah, I heard like there was some problems with the security. Like, the Pink Ranger like threatened not to go back, because the Pink Ranger, she threatened not to go back the second day because the security was so shit the first day.
Yeah, she left early. I think so.
Did she leave early? Okay, yeah, that's
for
what it was. But her
personal
line was
reasons, but I think that was why.
wild. Like the line for her was crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
I mean, that was everyone's childhood crush. Like that's
every guy's first childhood crush, yeah, or every guy's first crush for sure.
Funny.
What was so? I've got a question for all of you guys. What was that? It doesn't necessarily have to be the most expensive or most rare, but that's probably where they're going to fall. What's like your personal like favorite cards you got to see in person that you'd never seen before? While you guys were at CollectCon.
I said it before you came on. It was Red Eyes Black Dragon Ultimate Rare PSA 10. That card, to put in perspective, I've never seen a minty copy of that since I've been into Yu-Gi-Oh, which hasn't been like a super long time. But like, you're buying like a decent looking copy that's probably gonna 8, and you're spending like $900 raw. Like it's a really, really sick card. Retro knows what I'm talking about, but the card, the texture, English never got it. It's disgusting. Like it's super cool. I think you had it priced at like, I think it's like 5K or something like that, somewhere in there. But I bet the pops is like sub 10. Like I never thought I'd get to see one in person, so it was really cool.
That's cool. I didn't get to hold the pony chew this time, so that would have probably been my answer. But let's see. In the vein of my dumbass, I got to hold a perfect CGC Perfect 10 Steamboat Willie card from.
Oh, did you? That's cool.
Yeah, dude. I was like, what? Like, I was like, bro, can I take a picture of this? Holy shit! Like, I've never seen this card. Yeah. So that was kind of, for me, that was fun.
I mentioned mine earlier, and that's just, I mean, it's easy. Squirtle Squad. When you see that up close and personal like that, yeah, that's like I want that card so bad. But other than that, I guess sticking to the zoo, sample Mothman PSA 10 was crazy. I mean, that thing on auction just sold for I think $7,000 or $8,000.
Was that in a booth, or was that like somebody who had it?
It was a booth. It was just the Metazoo. They were devoted to Metazoo, and they had Kickstarters. They had, they were busting a Kickstarter box, but this is the non-alternating. They only made 500 of these, but yeah, in the booth they had quite a few samples, but the Mothman PSA 10. Like, it's just freaking crazy. Again, I want to say it was PWCC where a month ago, maybe less, it sold for about $8,000. I gotta bring it back to the zoo.
I teed him up for that.
Gotta stay true to the zoo.
How about you, Peak?
Probably the PSA 10 TMB over at Rare Candy's booth, along with the Snap Gyarados, but the PSA 10 TMB was insane to see because I know that no one's never come up like for auction ever. I don't even know what the pop is on that. Like, there's a couple different variants. I think they had 2 10s and 1 9, and I was like, I don't know, I'm trying to remember who was with me. Somebody I was with walked over. We were talking to Lee for a minute. Maybe it was Radar or somebody, and I was like, I was just like, dude, I'm over here to look at the snap cards, whatever. And I go from like looking at snap cards, and then slowly I'm like, you guys have a PSA 10 TMB? Like, I was like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, pretty crazy. Like, it's funny because like, they know that they've got like just the big dog swinging these cards.
In the hobby right there.
Without like, there's that case itself is worth probably like half at least of those vendor tables. Like, it was insane. But that PSA 10 TMB was pretty special to see because that was something I didn't know they had, and I didn't think that they would have graded a perfect copy. Yeah. I think that was from that Japanese buy that Alec did. But
nice.
That and the snap card were probably the craziest thing to see actually in person.
I don't think I made it to the Rare Candy booth. That's kind of sad because I've never like met Leonhard or said hi to him or anything like that. So that would have been cool, but. I also fucked up. I didn't really get to talk to Chloe. Like, she was always busy, and I feel bad because I like want to, like girl.
You should have came out with Dan and us that one night. We like she was hanging out with us, and we shut the bar down. Like,
oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a really good hangout.
Lazy. Yeah.
I'm glad Dan and Nick kind of put that together and picked that bar because I don't always agree with Dan, because I think he's so susceptible to lose his voice, and he's like, I don't want it to be loud at all. I want it to be as quiet as this live stream is right now, but I want to have an IPA in my hand, kind of thing. But yeah, no, it was a really, really good spot. So there was probably like 15 people that showed up, and they had like a huge, like long, little section, inside, and yeah, it was super chill. And you walk up, bartender's right there, and it's like drinks immediately on hand.
That's
and
nice,
it wasn't like it was empty either. It was like a bunch of 45-year-olds with cowboy hats on, all dancing over there on the other side, and we're all like nerding out about Pokemon on this side. So it was pretty chill.
That's cool. That's cool. Dude.
Retro.
Yeah, we got to talk a decent amount because she was at the lunch thing I set up on Friday, and then Saturday she came out of the booth, her and her husband, and they had actually spent a considerable amount of money on like sealed boxes while they were there, which is part of the reason they made it to Dallas Collecticon. They were coming back from Florida. But yeah, we talked for a little bit, and I know jet lag was probably like hitting them hard at that point, but she was cool. It was cool to meet her in person. I'd only talked to her like a couple of times through like Instagram DMs and stuff, but it's cool to like put a face to, same as we all have with each other, like putting a face to a name is just so different when you can actually see the human being, and it's like, oh, okay, like I can understand your personality now, it's not just like, camera and all of that. So yeah, she was cool. Her husband's super hilarious too. He was cracking me up. I've never heard a British person say tits up before. So being able to hear that in person,
that's a great.
He's like, if it goes tits up, and I was like, you just made my night, dude. I'm all in. Like that's the best thing ever. So that was pretty funny to hear.
That's funny. All the Britishisms.
But yeah, so say what?
Did they buy anything from you, Peak?
No. I was gonna see if they wanted because one of the trades I did was for a Dragon Ball box, a Power Absorb Collector's Booster, which is like a $650 box, and
that's the one that got stolen, right?
That was one of the ones that got stolen, yeah. So I had traded for one, and so there were nine left, I think. And I was going to help them, like, I was like, hey, you guys know what these are, because they actually sell Dragon Ball and have distribution with it, which I didn't know. So they knew what they were. They go for about $575 or something, I think, over in the UK is what he had pulled up. And I was like, there's a guy with basically a case over here, because distribution, you literally can't get them. Like, it's crazy how specific they are with that particular box. But then they just kept getting bombarded with like random people and random deals and stuff. So they didn't do that. But as far as buying for me, no, I knew going into QuetzCon I was going to make enough to like, I would make money, but because I wasn't traveling, it's like, that was the reason I was like, I'm going to bring this stuff. And I had the same thought as you, Thrifty. I was like, I'm going to bring like $25 to like $50 is going to be like my like bulk of what I've got, because way different than Denver. I went almost similar to kind of like Dan, except I went Dan but not sealed product. Like I was like, here's a bunch of expensive slabs, and kind of like DNA, you brought up the Pokedex. It's like people walk up and they're like, oh man, this is so cool, whoa, and then they just kind of fade into the ether because they saw a comma in the price, and it's like I just didn't want to have that happen this time. So I didn't plan on anything big going on mine.
Well, like I told you this at the show, Peak, and I say this with the utmost peace and love, but it's like you have to kind of shoo away the table hogs. Like that, I think the biggest part of success at Collecticon, in my opinion, is like one, just trading into liquidity, because there were a lot of items that people took off of me that I'm going to kind of go on a really quick rant but it's like the vendors who offer 70% on slabs, it's like if it's early on Saturday morning, I'm liquid, you bring me a PSA 9 Moonbryon, right? Snap. I'm buying that at 70%. Like somebody's going to buy that. But it's like, if you're coming to me on a Saturday at the end of the show or on Sunday, it's like I'm a lot less likely to buy the item, just because if I don't sell it, I got to list it on eBay, and then I got to take taxes out. I got to account for it. And it's like, it's just really not worth my time at that point. But if you want to trade me even value for, like I had two premium pack 4 PSA 10 Arcana's Dark Magician. This guy traded me a PSA 9 SDJ First Ed Red Eyes Black Dragon for that. And I was like, I have 2 of these. That card's super liquid. I'll take that. 30 minutes later, somebody bought it, right? It's like, that's how you find success, is just doing really good, trades. Everybody's getting a good deal. They're getting something that you want. You're getting something that you're probably going to sell. And keeping table hogs away. Like, it's kind of like, notice when people are there not to buy anything, and, talk to them, make, be nice, respectful. But it's like, hey, if you want to hang out after the show, like we can totally do that. But it's like, while
not
I'm
really,
here,
not really, but we can definitely do that.
But if it's somebody that like people walking up and saying, hey, that like I've talked to a lot on online in person, it's like, I don't care about that at all. Like, that's one thing. But somebody just walking up that I don't know, it's like, if you want to talk, later, like, or another time, we can. But it's like, here's just not the optimal time, because you and your buddy that are sitting right in front of my table has people behind you are walking past, not looking at what's in my booth. Like, that's, yeah, so
kind of makes sense now when I showed up to the island and I was just trying to chop.
Well, you're respectful, right? You come back in the middle, or you hang out on Sunday at 4, and you're standing in front of the booth looking at it when like there's like 8 people walking around the show. Like, I like, you know what's up.
Yeah.
I will say one thing that I found really interesting, which again, I'm in sales, so maybe it's just like in my brain. There were a lot of booths I walked over to where like no one spoke to me, or people were just sitting down staring at me oddly. Like, it was really strange, because like I'd made it a point, like I feel weird sitting down while people are standing up in front of my table. But that's one thing, like every single person who walked by, like if they like even glanced our direction, I was like, what are you guys buying this weekend? Like, what are you looking for? Did you get here early? Like, I mean, DNA probably had to hear me like ask the same question to like 1,000 people, but I was like, most people are like, let me know if you see something you want to look at, or looking for anything in particular. Like, the easiest answer to that is like, no. But like, I wanted to know like when people got there, what they were looking for. Are you looking for Pokemon? I'm looking for everything. What was your favorite thing you saw here? Like, I don't know. I just felt like very like people engaged there, and that was one thing I expected. Like, especially some of the booths that have like these big TVs and like spin wheels, and like it's like you guys have everything except for like the personality, like, which is really what like makes me buy stuff. And like
DNA and Peak, very polar opposites, or very different strategies going into.
DNA won't say nothing.
Well, it's like, but no, it's like you got a spin wheel, you got light up plushies behind you, but you can't hit me with the "Hey boss, what you looking for?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like,
I was like, that's why I was so confused, because I would walk by and I'm like, hey, these are like, ask me what I'm looking for at the bare minimum. Like, what are you looking for? I'm like, vintage Japanese promos. That's what I'm going to tell you. I think I walked around with Connor, Rock Pokemon, for a little bit, and that was, I think maybe one person asked me. We probably went to like 12 tables together. Mm-hmm. And the guy was like, what are you looking for? I was like, vintage Japanese promos. What do you have?
And then he hit the spin wheel, and then all of them turned to all set, and then you walked away, right?
He's like, I've got Evolving Skies pack. No, he just walked like to a section. He goes, right here. And then he just walked away. And I was like, dude, like, what? Is there anything specific I'm looking for? Like, I don't know. And not even just from the sales aspect, but that was one thing I really wanted to get a good firsthand understanding of, like, what are these people looking for? Like, what is this crowd in person like trying to buy? And that's something I just don't understand. Like, buying a booth, spending your hard-earned money to go there and do all this setup and go crazy extravagant, and then not know what people are asking for. Like, the internet, all your stuff's going to sell. Like, for the most part, if you price it right, it will sell, because the audience is, millions and millions of people. But like, if you're going to make the trip, like, at least engage with the people there, whether they're buyers or not, because what they're going to sell you, or what they're going to buy from you or give you, is information and value. And that's something that I just don't think a lot of people there really did.
It's funny. I was talking to Josh, Old Card Shop, after, and like I was over like kind of hanging out at his booth a little bit for like 5, 10, 15 minutes here and there. And if you even make eye contact with Josh, he's going to give you the whole spiel. Like, the ones are down here. Like, if you want mystery bags, we got mystery bags. He gives you the whole fucking spiel, dude, every time. It's so funny.
The ones are down here.
The ones, bro. I met the fucking guy who runs the One collector group on Facebook, and I was like,
I met him too. Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah.
I would definitely put you on that also.
I met him late on Sunday night hanging out with Rock, and he was like, I collect PSA 1s, and I was like, I just hit him
Makes
with the word.
sense. It's like
Word.
Like, word.
Word.
Yeah.
you had the same vibe as Josh, if you know what I mean. Like, just a little
Yeah,
rough
and
around the
then
edges. Like
he
one.
proceeded to say something along the lines of, man, getting a 1's harder than getting a 10 nowadays, and I hit him with another word.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay,
Are you reading me the about section of your
man.
Facebook group? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
That's how you
No,
sell
I
it,
just-
baby.
I was just hoping to like. I mean, I had some good conversation with vendors specifically. Like that was one thing that like vendors who came to the table were ready to talk, and like literally just like because I would see you're wearing your pass. Like, how's the show been for you? Like,
Yeah.
it's cool to talk that way, but like,
Right.
I don't know, man. I just could not wrap my brain around like huge tarp, flashy lights. Like literally, you're like, it's like if you're gonna capture anyone's attention and then just not sell. Like, just be like, my stuff is priced so perfectly. My condition and my grades are so perfect. People are just going to pick this shit up and buy it. And, like, I just can't even imagine being, especially at a company, because there were a lot of company booths there, is what I would call those, that had the whole section. Like, it was just them, all their employees, blah, blah, blah. I just didn't understand. I'm like, there's no way you guys, I mean, you guys are probably doing well, but, like, I just can't even imagine how much that is.
Dude, I've said this so many times, but that was my favorite part about Denver. And
We
Mason
missed
threw
you,
it.
Mason. We fucking
Yeah.
missed you, dog. Like, for real.
He threw it up with his little GoPro recording and just him yelling, cheap slabs, come pick them. I don't want to take them home. Like,
Dude, I
and then
did my
like 20
best.
minutes later, he's sold out. Just like, and he's like, hey, y'all want my cases? I don't have anything left.
Dude, I did my best to get Mason to come to Dallas so much. I was like, the table, like, whatever. He just wouldn't make the trip.
Mace is going to Charlotte, right?
Yeah, Charlotte, for sure.
Yeah, he's got a few tables, I think.
Oh,
He's
so
getting
he's
a
gonna be-
section. Huh?
ooh.
Is he buying a whole section? Okay, I didn't
I
know.
mean, I think he's like one of the section captains. I'm not sure if he's taking the whole thing.
Oh, okay, Mace, big boy
He's
Mace.
one of the captains. I'm pretty sure.
All you guys
Yeah.
going to Charlotte?
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
This was my only Collecticon for the year, or event for the year.
Really?
You're not doing Houston?
I'm building a house, man. I can't do a bunch of travel right now.
Houston.
Bro, I took an Uber to go to Dallas.
Yeah, bro,
I'm
this
30
dude
minutes
Ubered.
away. I ain't traveling nowhere. I'm not going anywhere.
God, dude.
And besides, dude, it's Houston. Who the hell wants to go to Houston? It's the armpit of Texas.
He said the armpit of Texas, huh?
Houston
It's
is dope.
hot.
Houston
It
is dope.
smells. No.
A lot
no.
of people were complaining about how hot it was in Dallas, and I was like, "This is perfect."
It was hot.
Those are
as
people.
fucking-
Those are people who have not been to Houston because they're
Bro.
like, man, it's hot here. They go to Houston, they're like, get me out of here.
No, I was in Houston
I'm
in
from Florida.
July.
and it was bad.
Hard pass.
No, Houston's dope. Houston's a dope scene.
I don't know. I mean, besides, I mean, if you like guns, cowboy hats, and no sales tax. Other than that, there's not a lot of redeeming qualities about Texas, man. It's hot. It's spread out. It's a big state. I don't know. It's all hot to me.
we
Say
got
no
there, and
sales
I'm
tax?
like, this is
Yeah,
horrible.
not no sales tax, no
State
state
income.
income tax. Yeah, I misspoke. High property tax though.
I was like,
Like,
what part of Texas
wow.
you in? I'm moving there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Shit.
Hey, Leaf Green Goblin, he had a question. It
Oh,
probably
yeah.
would be good for everybody, I think. But he said, question for Pikachu. Aside from Pikachu, what Pokemon would you like to see as a trophy card? I like that a lot, actually. I would say it'd probably be between two. I would say I would love to see a Lugia trophy. I think that'd be dope.
Dope. Actually.
Because Lugia is so epic anyway, and it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's hard for me to think of another one. But if I would say Lugia, and then if I had to think of one more, just to give you two, it's hard because Pikachu's such a perfect Pokemon. Like, I'm thinking of the number 3 art where he's like so chunky and happy, like holding a trophy. But I don't know. I'd say like I don't know. I'll skip. I'll come back, but I'll say Lugia for right now.
I'm gonna go.
What about
Mew.
you, Thrifty? Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
did
Mew.
you just say
That's a
Mew?
really good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
she
took it
said
from
Mew.
me. That was my
Mew would be my second choice.
Mew
for
is
Mew
sure.
was my number one pick.
Quaxley, this dumb bitch says Quaxley. Okay, bro. Chill out. Chill the fuck out there. We know. We get it.
Dang, if Mew is taken now,
Mew and Lugia are taken. Mewtwo? You just like
I mean,
jump on that and say Mewtwo.
no, I think Mew. Mew.
Well, he's already is a trophy
Yeah.
card. He's an SSB,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He does technically.
which is like one of the sickest cards ever.
That one is fire. I fucking love that card.
It's they have
I
that
got it.
too.
I got it.
Rare candy.
All right.
What?
Easy. You got the trio, and it's in their names: Articuno, Dose, and Trace. First,
That's
second,
kinda
third
funny,
place.
you know? That's funny. That's
First,
cool.
second, third place, right there.
That
Articuno,
would work.
Zapdos, and Moltres.
That would work.
I think a set of that would be cool. I would say if it was like it would have to be a very specific event, but that'd be dope if they did that.
Landon, I'm with you here also. Shuckle dog. That's what's up. For real. Shuckle gang, bro.
Mhm.
Retro said Slow King. I don't mind that. I don't mind Slow King.
I wanted to say Deoxys, but Deoxys has that peak. You might know this. I mean, once cards hit a certain threshold, they're super hard to get. Like, just
They're
I
so
don't even look
visible.
at it.
yeah. But Deoxys has one that like is pretty rare. I mean, none of this stuff's like extremely rare, but it's like Deoxys has one that's pretty rare. I think PWCC auctioned one recently, and it was like I think it was like a 6, and it sold for like $3,800 or something like that. It's like a non-hollow type trophy card. I'm looking for it on Bulbapedia, the TCG drop down, but I can't find it. And Deoxys also has like the Stadium Challenge. Yeah, that's probably it. The that one's crazy expensive. But Deoxys also has the lottery promo. But
That's what
I'd probably go with Mew. I think Mew's a good one. I mean, there's a lot of good choices. Did someone say Retro said Slow King? I think Slow King would be really cool to have.
Slow King would be cool. Well, Green Goblin's like I hate like the question's interesting because it says would you like a trophy card other than Pikachu, but like over half of the Pokemon we've named are on trophy cards right now. So like if you're talking straight up 1, 2, and 3, like the trophy cards, like that would be.
I was going to say Giratina too, but I think Giratina has a victory medal if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to say like, yeah, I think for number 1, 2, and 3, maybe Mew would probably be my actual answer because in Thrifty, I'm just gonna straight up take it from you, and we'll all say it because like Mew is like
it's gonna be
cute enough.
Fire.
What's a cute enough Pokemon? Plus, it's powerful. It's a 1 of 1 Pokemon, so it's like I could take the Pikachu art in the number 1, 2, and 3 and easily put a Mew in that spot.
Yeah,
I can't do that with a Lugia because Lugia is too like insane.
Yeah,
but yeah, for number 1, 2, and 3,
Fingies either, you know. So.
Yeah, Mew was my go-to, and I think if we were to actually go through every single Pokemon, nobody tops Mew. I think Mew is easily number 1 right now by default.
Yeah,
easy.
I like the talking about Mew, just Mew cards in general. I'm so bad with cards at the top of my head. Yeah, I thought it was an EX. The Mew EX play promo is fire, and also the Nishida play promo Mew, super gas. Yeah, so
that's the 7,000 point Mew.
Is it 5 or 7 for the
floating with the rocks?
You're asking the wrong person, but yeah, the one with the rocks.
The Mew orb with the rocks.
That is the best Mew art in the game. Nick Old School and I argue about this all the time. So he thinks the Expedition Mew, I think, is the one he says like his favorite.
That's true.
Dude,
very true.
The play promo is like the play promo wins all day.
No, I'm gonna go.
I don't know the Mew EX from Holland Phantoms that came in the gift box too with the Pikachu and Mewtwo. That one's pretty fire too.
It's almost as good as the play promo. I agree.
Mew Prime, I like Prime cards a lot. That's a hot take.
Mew's got some pretty awesome arts.
Prime cards are nice.
I like Celebi Prime. That's one of my more favorites.
I got to do I don't have it anymore, but one of the trades I did down there, I did a partial trade towards that PSA 10 Evolutions Charizard, but I had a guy trade me a PSA 10 Celebi Prime English for one of my level X's, and I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. I never thought I'd get to own this card, so
it's fire. I do like it.
Yeah, super sick. And it's really funny how fast stuff moves because I did a trade for that. Then I traded. It was a partial trade towards that Charizard. And then like the next trade night I went to, this dude had his case open. He was like trying to sell a bunch of stuff, and he had it in his. So I was like, literally
really
in like a 36-hour span, this card is like passed through 3 people's hands.
It's like, hello, old friend. How are
Yeah.
you?
I was like, "Did you just get this?" And he was
Buddy.
like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I had this card about a couple hours ago in my possession."
That's so funny, dude. That's crazy.
Green Goblin asked another good question. He said, which Pokemon collab promo would you guys like to see? He said he thinks a Pikachu Bumblebee Transformer card would be sick.
I mean, right now Zelda's hot. They might do like that would be cool to have a Link one probably. There you
Listen
go.
to her. Listen to her, people.
I wouldn't be that affected by it, but I would buy it and sell it. Like,
I'm all in on a Zelda collab. Like, where is it? Where is a Pikachu wearing a Link, like, or a Majora's Mask? A Majora's Mask Pikachu, I would spend so much money on that dude. Like, that'd be it. That'd be like checking too many boxes. I'm like, this isn't even fair, Pokemon Company. Like, what are you doing to me?
Pink's fucking nutting when he sees that, dude.
Dude, a Pikachu wearing a Majora's Mask, that's like basically like, here's your childhood with your childhood slapped on it.
Slapped
Like,
right
you
on
know?
top of it.
Yeah.
Does it have
That
to
would
be
be it.
Nintendo? Are we sticking with Nintendo?
No, I mean whatever you want.
Biggest dream collab.
I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I mean
Darth Vader Pika.
Because I've seen a few sketches with that crossover, and that, I mean it goes
That's
hard.
cool.
It goes hard.
I bet Pikachu Minecraft would go crazy. I bet that would be wild.
Pikachu
Don't they already have those like blocks? Like they have like the.
I should bet a
I don't know.
Pokemon Minecraft collab because I mean Minecraft's a huge IP. They're
Yeah.
massive.
They look like
Um,
Roblox,
yeah.
the little figures that come with it. There's like a Snorlax, a Pikachu, and some other shit. Yeah, that'd be-
Snorlax would be a cool trophy card. The Snorlax Level X Dominoes promo is super fire too.
that's true.
That's a sick
I
card.
like that card. I wish there was
Yeah.
a pizza on it though. I'm just
Grogu Pika, G1T's got the right idea.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa! Now a little poncho, a Grogu poncho. Fucking hell!
Who's
In the little
Grogu?
orb Easter egg little looking thing. Yeah.
Who's Grogu? Let me Google really quick.
Baby Yoda,
Ba-
dude. What the
Baby
fuck?
Yoda.
Okay.
Grogu.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't like Star Wars, but Mandalorian's pretty damn good. I like Mandalorian.
I haven't watched it, but I do love me some Grogu. So.
Very, very watchable just because it's not like I don't know. I don't like Marvel either, but I also like the Loki thing on Disney Plus. I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah. Scyther trophy? I don't know, bro. Maybe.
I like Scyther. I'm a closet Scyther fan. Big fan of that Pokemon.
Closet
He's legit. Underrated.
Yeah, there is a Heart Gold, so Silver Scyther trophy.
Is there?
Yeah, I think I think it's currently at PSA right now, or it just left like today. But if it's the right one that I'm thinking of, it's not like a super big card or anything, but it's pretty. It's actually probably it's really funny because it's like my favorite Scyther artwork that I hadn't seen it in Japanese, and then they made it into like the Japanese trophy, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, someone already says Celebi, right?
No, but that would be a good one. Is there one? There's a
Celebi
play
kind of-
promo.
Celebi kind of gives that Mew feel too. Like
There's play
thing-
promos, but not like a true like crazy trophy.
Are we opening a Doritos Locos Taco, or are we ripping a booster pack? What are we doing?
Just opening some evolving skies.
Oh no, he's losing money. Right live, dude. Watch Peak. That's you, Luke.
Is it 3 or 4? I can't even remember.
Who cares?
It's
Why are we
4.
even doing it?
That's right.
It's a
Because
three,
it's fun.
and chuck the energy.
Check the energy. I make sure you guess it.
Yeah, bro. If you're gonna
Oh
open
no,
up
I've
anything,
got the virtual background.
if you're gonna
the
open up,
worst.
just open up
Here,
some.
I'll just move it
Interstellar,
and we'll
dude.
see
What are
what
we
it is.
doing? Like,
Oh, did you get packs?
yeah.
Dude, I have their launch party. I have their launch party promo. It's actually super sick. No way. A Gorgeist. No, I'm kidding.
Rip.
Thrifty's face was like, did I just get a clip? What is
Dude, it was so sad and demoralizing to see everyone who bought Evolving Skies from Peak just super bricked. This
Well,
dude
maybe
bought like
in front of me.
this dude bought like 15 packs or something like that.
Yeah, he bought like, or well, he was close to 20, but yeah, he was He opened them all, but he was a player, so like he was like looking for playability.
Oh yeah, playable. We love that for him. Retro. Get.
Hey, Retro, check your phone.
Hey, Retro. God damn it, check your phone, bro. Shit.
God, dude, would you check your phone already? Jeez.
Yeah, for real, dude. Shit.
I feel like you just got like, your mom like just told the grocery store to call you over the PA system.
I've
You
got
just got put
a,
on blast in front of everybody.
I've got a fun, I don't know, take a wild guess and let's see what happens game.
Is
So
it a native box?
it has to do with native. The homie.
All right, guys, it's been real. I'll see.
the sponsor Dan. Shout out to the sponsor Dan. I was able to get some boxes from him at MSRP at MAP, and I opened up a sealed case. Right. Well, it was a case and then like 3 other boxes, but whatever. I opened up the case, pulled them all out. One of the boxes, right? This is how your sealed, box looks like. Yeah. One of the boxes was not sealed.
Oh, rip, dude.
This one bulges. It's bulging.
It is.
It only has 36 packs. I reached out to Dan. I was like, "Hey, Dan, like I'm pretty sure it was sealed. I would have noticed it, right? It was sealed." It was the bottom of all 6 boxes. And he says, like, out of factory, it has to be out of factory. He's never seen that in all the millions of boxes that he buys as a partner. He's never seen that. So I'm thinking, so what do you guys think happened here? And one, like, what are we talking? I mean, if it's bulging like this, you can see how much is sticking over the top.
That seems weird.
And it's only counted the packs and it's 36.
It's only 36. Like either.
I mean, it could be an error to where they double stuff certain packs because I've had Pokemon packs before to where they have like 2 packs in 1 seal.
I think Dan needed to get rid of some Metazoo bulk, and the easiest way is like basic will be there. He'll buy this case.
He repacked them. No, so I'm gonna be going live. That's gonna be the only box that I'm gonna do live, just because like you never know what the hell is in it, right? Dan said 36 SRs. So
hey, just open one, just one right now. Just hit me. Come on.
Why not, right? Why not?
Come on, I just lost like
You just lost $20 opening fucking a money.
Let's do one.
Hey,
why not?
30. Let's keep our $10 price point alive, guys.
So 35 packs for tomorrow, most likely tomorrow night.
Here's where the 1 of 1 gets pulled.
Oh, let me put you up. Hold on. Let me like full screen your ass. Hold up.
Hey, dude.
Oh. Pretty boy.
He just like completely keeps it going.
Let's see what we got here.
All right.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Okay.
Nothing. I'm just checking at the bottom left corner for some serialized action going on. Nothing. Here's a hollow, and it's a nothing.
Dude's got a grill on him.
I mean, it's a pretty dope looking freaking card there. Nothing.
That's kind of cool.
And nothing.
Bro, I like the energies better than I like any cards in these sets. Is that weird?
The auras are pretty dope.
Yeah, sorry. I can't do
nothing on that one. I don't know. My theory is that it's the box that's just faulty or something. It's defective. It's maybe the dimensions were not quite right, and when it went through the sealer, like I've seen the sealed machines.
That's weird.
I don't know. It's essentially an you oversize the plastic over the box, and then it goes through a shrink tunnel, a heat tunnel, which shrinks the plastic and the wrap, and that's that. So why wouldn't this one come out sealed, and why is it bulging? Yeah, I don't know.
He said that one came from PK.
Mason is rattling here. Get rattle on the case.
Earlier. Careful, dude. Careful. Careful, Danny boy.
35 pack opening coming soon. To a basic 12-hour live stream near you.
Oh, good God, dude.
Yeah, you had us, then you
And then
went to Metazoo, and then you lost about half of us, and then you started talking about how they print Metazoo, and everybody exited the chat.
and then we're like,
There's probably 4 people watching this, and you're looking at them now.
I don't know how, but the viewer count did go up during
was
that
just gonna
story.
say-
I'm not sure why.
I was just gonna say the viewers did go up. I'm just saying
They were curious, and then they got out immediately.
Now they're all set though.
No, Basic, I have a question for you. So
Yeah.
with you being so into Metazoo for so long now, how do you balance buying both TCGs? Did you, or wait, actually, hold on. Before you answer that question, let me ask more specifically.
Before
Did your
answer, let
unsaid,
me ask you all this.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Beyonce. Yeah, did your whether it was a set budget or unset budget, did your budget just get chopped in like 60% to this, 40% to that, or whatever the percentage was, or did your overall budget go up and now you spend more between both of them?
So I mean,
I need to understand where you sacrificed. That's what I'm trying to get to.
where I sacrifice, where I say, I guess where it lands is I still bike. Retro made a comment earlier saying something like, "Basic could care less about Pokemon now. I respect it." And to be honest, as I was walking around Collecticon, I was just like, I could care less about this stuff.
This
Like,
shit
what
sucks,
the-
dude.
Pokemon sucks so bad right now for me, right? For what I'm into. But
Did you
I'm
buy
still-
any of it though?
No, because if I'm actually searching for something, it's pretty much, it's been cut down to PSA 9 Pikachus. That's pretty much what it's been cut down to. Anything else is just like, you know what? I'll rather just spend it all on travel and going to these events, going to
That's a good
these
point.
tournaments. I would much rather do that than buy another Pokemon $1,000 slab, unless it's a PSA 9 Pikachu. But yeah, like that's how I would break it down. Unless it's a PSA 9 Pikachu that I'm after, that I need for the collection for the PC, I'm really just more focused on Metazoo right now. Way more focused.
Has that saved you money?
No, because when you look at the travel, when you look at the travel, it's probably been more expensive, to be honest.
You have more travel costs.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
what's done. So maybe less on the cards, but it's supplemented by the travel because you're competing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just easily because of that, but because of it just takes so much time. And honestly, as a player, which is so awesome to me that I turned into a legit freaking player, that takes so much freaking time. I've talked to a few people that have played other games. One of them that you guys, obviously you guys would know him in the chat. He's always in there. He's got his YouTube channel up. Mexican Hipster. He was in Denver. Yeah, he's like, dude, I would love to, but at the end of the day, it takes so much freaking time. As a Yu-Gi-Oh player, it takes way too much time to do this. And yeah, I can attest to that. It takes way too much time. Most of the time as I'm watching content, it's just like background as I'm building decks or going against someone, live on, over camera, because just grinding out games, honestly, 6 hours a day grinding out games. And so this next Flame Tower, dude, if I don't make it a top 32, which I'm guaranteeing here live, top 32.
Oh, we got a guarantee in the house, right?
I was one win away from getting into top 32 in Earth Tower. I'm guaranteeing, like, I've hit such a stride with Metazoo that it's just like, yeah, like, give me the competition. Like, I'm ready. I'm good.
I'll take a top stamp basic card. I'll take that all day.
But yeah, it's simply been Metazoo eating up the time that is actually taken away from the buying. If that makes sense.
It does. And I think I saw a couple of people in the chat too, like talking about like, like Swami, I think, is a prime person who like was into Pokemon and went into Marvel, like left it entirely. I can even to a certain degree understand that as well, because even the people that I was buying from in Dallas, I bought Dragon Ball. I didn't buy Pokemon. And I had a lot of Pokemon thrown at me. I mean, we all did if you were there. I mean, literally, it's like, hey, what do you want to buy? Like, it was like every person I talked to Saturday.
Like, yeah, for sure.
You buying, right? Or like the side eye, like weird walk, like, you buying today? I'm like, dude, you don't have to be sneaky. Like, just come up and throw the case down. Like, let's look at this. But I bought Dragon Ball because I was more excited about like some of the cards that these people had. Like, one of the coolest things actually, since technically it's a collector on stream. One of the coolest things that somebody brought is Dragon Ball released a silver card, 555 of them, and it's pure silver. It's in this cool like plaque, and I had 2 people bring me those. So and reason they came out, and I think retail on the actual card itself after fees was like $1,200 or $1,250, US only. So like they started at like $3,000, then like went up to like 3,500, and they've come down significantly. They're like $1,500 maybe, which I don't get, mainly because it's probably players and not necessarily collectors. But a guy brought it up, and he was like, dude, I've got a silver card. You want to see it? I was like, pull that thing out now. And this dude pulls it out, and on his way to hand it to me, pulls back, pulls out the microfiber cloth and wipes it down, dude. Which was the most boss move. And he's like, here you go. And man, that was just so funny to see. And like, I was like, dude, thank you so much for letting me see this. I told him up front, I was like, dude, I'm not buying a silver card right now. And then the next guy I talked to, I ended up buying a card off him raw, but he wanted to sell his silver card so bad because I think he was just into it. Like, you know, $1,200 for just a card, like that's a significant amount for most people. Like for a piece of cardboard or a piece of silver, I guess in this case. And he was like, "How much would you give me, dude?" I'm like, "Dude, I can't even like." I probably
Are those liquid.
Not, I mean, for retail, I mean, for less than retail, maybe like, I don't know, like if you could get a good deal on it, you could probably move it. But this guy was like, what would you offer me? I'm at like $2,000. I'm like, I'm not even close, dude. I was like, we're not even in the same ballpark. And he was like,
oh yeah.
He's like, what about 1,400? I was like, Jesus, you just came down $600, dude. Like, don't do that. That's not how this is done. But like there were. I was so surprised I saw 2 of those actually at Dallas specifically. But
didn't you say you were gonna pre-order one of those, or weren't you on like the?
I tried to buy it. Yeah, I didn't win the lottery. I tried to buy it.
How much was the like retail for it?
$1,200 to $1,250 after fees and all that. I mean, I tried because it would be a PC. It wouldn't be something like I would buy to like you're not going to grade it. Because it's in this whole encapsulated thing. Like I'm not going to grade it, and I'm not going to sell those unless they went up like way up. But I don't see that happening for years and years. Right. It would be a PC item. So,
well, and I think that's what happens a lot with just people in the Pokemon hobby in general, is because the ease of access, the barrier to make friends inside of Pokemon is super, super easy. And, you know, not everyone wants to start a hobby off joining the Metazoo Discord or the Facebook Marketplace Dragon Ball Z website, or like you know, like or whatever, or yeah. And then you have like the Thrifty does a lot of Weiss now, you know, and Weiss is relatively easy to obtain information on, but it's definitely not as easy as Pokemon. You know, there's a lot of Japanese weird websites that you have to figure out how to utilize
and shit. Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like a lot of people who get into these like niche TCGs start off with Pokemon. They go super deep. They spend a lot of money, and then they figure out how to buy and sell stuff and level up in the hobby. And then they, you know, that once they figure out that they have a passion for it and they enjoy it a lot, then they move on to other stuff. Because like, I'll tell you all this much: if Konami had print quality that wasn't dick, my name would be Yu-Gi-Oh DNA, not Pokemon DNA. Because, yeah. Because
pulls up gray sweatpants.
Yeah. So like, not showering for 3 days, gray sweatpants. But
where are the stains from? Don't ask.
Yeah. It was Papa John's 6 days ago. Don't worry about it. But
that dude definitely got garlic butter with his order.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, like, it's just tough, and you know, it's. I'm not gonna go like.
I'm just fucking killing me.
I don't get that personally.
Time out, yo.
I fucked up with this one, dude.
I gotta.
Oh god. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll tell you this story.
I'm lost too, DNA.
Apologies to DNA and Pete.
No, I don't care, dude. No, you're good. We're just chilling.
Oh, fuck, dude. Ivy just got me so good. Shit. Okay, so I asked the homies while we were walking around. I'm not sure why. If who's the better artist? Is it Trina or is it Eve?
Lil
Chat,
Kim.
you can-
It's
No, you
Trina,
said Lil
bro.
Kim. It was Lil Kim or Trina.
It's
Was
Trina.
it Lil Kim? And
Yeah,
then
it was Lil
and then
Kim.
all of a sudden, Basic just
Because you-
goes,
'cause you-
what happened to the brat, dude? And I was like, what the
No, because you and Ivy are going back and forth about Lil Kim and Trina. I was like, bro, the Brat is the obvious. I blew both of their minds. They were like, holy shit, the
I haven't
Brat,
thought
bro.
about that
Like,
bitch in like
dang.
8 years, dude.
The Brat is like the Cash Me Outside girl of female rap, dude.
Yeah, like
No,
the earliest
What
Catch Me
agrees
Outside
about the
girl,
Brat?
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
Trina.
I know Little Kim, but like Trina and the Brat, I think that's before my time.
That's
Trina's-
like before you were
Trina's-
even born, dude. I swear to God.
Trina's bad, dude.
I haven't gone like
Brat
super
was-
deep stage into rap.
Brat was Retro's name in late 20s. Oh, man. Oh, man. Off the rails.
That was the girl that broke his heart and made him focus on business. For sure.
Fuck, I'm off. I'm done.
He said I'm currently in my late 20s.
So you're saying it's recent.
Yeah.
So yesterday, he changed his name yesterday. That's it. Oh my god, bro. Shit,
Brat.
Ivy, you gotta stop with that. You can't do that all like
The Brat's gonna be forever a meme now.
bro. That's gonna be your next thumbnail is you would like
That might be tomorrow's thumbnail. Tomorrow.
I'm gonna get Ernesto to make that for me, bro.
I looked up the Brat, and the first thing that came up was pregnant. The Brat pregnant. Yeah, I've never seen
Shocking.
this person.
Also,
Oh, that's true. I was like, what are the freaking coincidences? I saw that the next day after we talked about the Brat, and then on Sunday, here's the Brat freaking pregnant as fuck. Like, damn.
that's a beautiful story. Thank you, Ernie, for this. She has coffee shops now. That's kind of fire.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't care.
Bucks.
I don't care. Good for her.
That's
Good
hey,
for her.
smart lady.
He said, "Quit making thumbnails. Dan blocks all the good ones."
Fucking Dan, bro. Dan's too vanilla for Ernie's thumbnail. This year.
Nesto, what is Dan paying? I'm paying double for a Debrat thumbnail for tomorrow night.
Ernie,
up?
goddamn man.
I love how you didn't wait for an answer, so you technically are about to pay triple.
Leverage these.
Catching legs. That's okay.
Fuck, man. That's funny, bro. Oh, God.
All right, DNA. Before Ivy disrespectfully just freaking, butt
Sorry.
in with her. What were you saying?
Nah, I was pretty much done. I was basically saying something along the lines of, I think that's how other people, move into other TCGs. Just they start with Pokemon and then they go off and they start collecting, Weiss boobies, or they go into Marvel.
I'm not doing the
Power
boobies
Blaster.
at least. That's I'm doing the good Weiss, like the not scummy Weiss. So I feel
Yeah.
bad about it, really.
Yeah, I would just hate for someone to be like, like, oh, you're into cardboard. I'm like, yeah, it's super cool. Then they stumble across my eBay and it's just like a bunch of like anime waifus like all over. Like you can't even hashtag waifu on Instagram
Really?
because it says it's like I like did it one time for like Dark Magician Girl and I like clicked on it and it was like you can't even view this because it's been like there's been explicit content reportedly over and over again with this hashtag.
Oh,
We
yikes.
joked about this at CollectCon because DNA goes, hey, he's like, hey, Peak, what do you think of these? And he just has like a bunch of waifu Weiss cards. And I was like,
I'll find them really quick. I actually sold the PSA 9 yesterday, but I think I have 2 PSA.
don't you guys love how DNA is like, I'll find them as if he doesn't know exactly where they are? Like,
That's a very
come on.
likely story, little young friend.
okay.
Yeah,
so let me
so I didn't.
hold on, DNA. Let me
Okay,
just
yeah,
play
you're
this.
good.
He goes, let me find them real quick.
Let me go get those
Walks-
titties real quick. Hold
Walks
up.
not even a U to the most obvious shelf behind him and goes, oh, here they are. That's the greatest thing of all
Oh
time.
yeah, I found it.
Oh wait, no, that's my bad. Hold on, let me look next to it. Oh,
Well, they're in my they're in my tops pile, but yeah. So I didn't know that these were a thing, right? So I had a bunch of tops cards, and then Josh, old card shop, was like, "Hey, like these Mandarin Island mismatch cards are popping off right now," and I was like, "I think I have these cards." I was like, "Let me double check." So I looked through my tops pile. I'm like, "Oh shit, I have 3 of these." So I ended up grading them. and they're not like crazy valuable. If you were to hit like a 10 on the foil, I mean, you're talking like big money. I hit a 9 on the non-foil. I think that's what it wasn't crazy. It was like 130 or something yesterday. But for a Topps card, non like crazy character in a 9, that's pretty big money. But yeah, here it is. So you get this focused.
Hey.
Yeah.
So
about to get demonetized.
That
but as soon as that
tittiest Pokemon card I've ever seen.
This guy who was trying to buy we were trying to work a deal on my Evolution Charizard, and he reached out, and when something sells on eBay, you get the notifications like, sorry you missed this if you're watching it. And he said he was watching that listing, but he didn't even like recognize that it was my listing. He was like, I would have reached out. He's like, if that buyer doesn't pay, and I was like, bro, that thing's already at USPS. It's like, I have immediate payment. Yeah, it's gone. Sorry. And he was like, dang, I missed it. And I was like, yeah, I was like low list by like $70. I was like, you should just snapped it, bro. So who teacher you to skydive?
What is? Sorry, I don't know why that just made me crack up so hard. What are you talking about?
I wear a raincoat and I get shat on all night. I love it.
That's
I was gonna say like wide receiver coach, but that's my vote.
Ernie's been just ragging on you all night.
I always get ragged on from outfits. I wear a deep cut button up, and Swami's like, when is DNA gonna wear a shirt that fits him or something along the lines of that? Every time I wear an outfit, I always get shat on. So
I've had way too many shots for this.
I'm super pro like roasting people that make content. I think it's the funniest thing.
I roast the people,
especially in that style. And that style is my favorite thing. When you look like that dude, basically take Drake memes and turn it into real people. I'm into it.
He's gonna like go like this, DNA. Just go like this, DNA.
That's so silly. He looks like a Park Ranger.
Oh my god, bro.
DNA shooting out of a plane just.
Hey, I mean, I'll take being a weatherman, a skydiving instructor. I'll take all this versus the explicit language incoming, but of the spicy take of the week being Pokemon DNA is a bitch. I would much rather have y'all make fun of me this way versus the old school getting on the spicy podcast.
Poor Nick. Poor Nick.
Nick got lit up, dude. That's real.
Landon said nearly poker tuber.
He got lit up. He got lit up by Josh. Gets all the trade up challenges. I feel bad for that man.
Yeah, we just passed him along all that shit.
And obviously, Peak is over there siding with old school because he's over there cropping out Greeny on his post. So, yeah.
Dude, I was dying laughing. There were like 4 or 5 people that like threw that up and were like, justice for Greeny or whatever, and I was dying laughing because his comment, I literally like audibly busted out laughing because I just didn't press the little like whatever the button is. And I'm usually good about that, but I was uploading like 8 pictures or something, and for anybody who doesn't know, like I posted a Collecticon post on IG, and the Green Shiz, who was there allegedly,
he actually was.
He got cropped out like entirely, and it was like perfectly removed him only. And his top comment was like, Jesus, crop me the F out of this photo. And I was like, my bad, bro. I just remember cracking up at that so much. But
oh man,
yeah, the Green Shiz was definitely there at the lunch on Friday, hanging out with everybody else. But
bro, that was a pretty good group you got together, bro. That was fire.
I call Mandela effect on that. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was a cool lunch. A lot of cool people showed up. I'm really glad Charlie Herlocker. If anybody doesn't follow him, definitely do it. One of the coolest, smartest people in this entire hobby. Like I would call him, especially after like this past weekend, like a good friend of mine. This dude was awesome to come out. He literally booked like 2 days before the con, like because he just got peer pressured like crazy.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny when I was at the pop-up shop in Dallas. It was like me, Rusty, Jim Mint, and like a couple other people, and we're all like hanging out. And like Charlie walks up, and Rusty's like, I don't think Rusty ever met Charlie, or I could be wrong, but it's like they don't get to see each other.
Oh, they definitely they definitely know each other.
Yeah, because I mean they definitely know each other, but I think Rusty said it was like his second event he's ever been to, and they never met before, and he was like, hey, he's like, yo, he's like, what's up, Charlie, or whatever, and they were like hyping him up, like they were like, yo, this guy's like, this guy's awesome. He does this and this and this. And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I'm not super familiar with who you are. I was like, do you make content? He was like, no, not really. He was just like super kept to himself. And then I get back from the pop-up shop. I get in the Discords and all this other stuff. And they're like, yo, Charlie is a whale. And I'm like, dang, I was like, I wish I had more opportunity to like sit down and talk with him. But I got to talk with him a little bit in Dallas, but not like too much. But like you said, PK, or Peak, I would love to pick his brain a little bit because he seems like a really cool dude.
Yeah, he shared a lot of stuff because we talked like quite a bit at the lunch and then a lot at trade night. I mean, he was around a lot, like, which was really cool.
Yeah, at the booth a lot. Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah, he just like if you like kind of the big brain business moves of the actual, like, not just like, oh, what are people buying and selling, but like how they're doing it, what the strategies are behind everything. Like it's crazy. I'll ask you, D-Day, and actually everybody, do you know how old Charlie is? If you do, don't say it. But
42.
Like, okay, what about you, D-Day?
I would have thought like 37, give or take, and I don't mean that like as like whatever, but yeah, we talked about it before the stream because
he seems like an elder statesman of the hobby, but he is indeed not an elder statesman.
I think it's the way he carries himself. He's just kind of like really mature about himself.
Yeah. Charlie's 28, basic.
I knew.
Oh, you already knew.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I just remember finding that out. I found that out this weekend. Like, I knew he was. I thought he was like around my age. I'm 33, which I don't feel like is super old, but I was like, wow, like that's crazy because he has achieved so much in the space, and like I think you said it perfectly, Dita. Like the way he carries himself and like the way he, like this dude is like this dude's living in Well, this dude's living in 2040, like when it comes to strategy. Like he's all about long-term gains and like being able to have those conversations while we were there was awesome.
Fucking $70,000.
I mean,
Latin remix bout or so, whatever the fuck.
Scream promos. No, but like it was just really cool to hear somebody who like started with like a decent amount of capital and then grew that to be like a substantial amount of capital, but still keeping the same or very similar strategies, like believing in what they did and kind of having that be so motivating for like, if you are in this to make money or you are in this to like further your financial benefit from the hobby and still enjoy it at the same time. Like it was just really cool to hear somebody who's like actually done it, because there's so many people here who like, pardon the language, but like, they talk a lot of shit about like, oh, these buying and selling and they're making like, 20 grand a year. Like that's sure. Is that great for shiny cardboard? Like absolutely. But like when you're talking like 7 figures, like it's a whole different ball game. And to hear how somebody got there and to be able to hear more and more, podcasts and interviews and stuff like that he's in. I mean, talk about a guy like everybody could learn from, not even just in cardboard, but just in business in general. So it was so cool to see him like come out and like spend that much time around everybody, like while he was there. It was cool.
Agreed. Yeah. I remember like Jake's thing with him, like the interview he had, or like the presentation he did on Jake's thing was like super valuable. Like that was like one of the better ones I think that they've had for a while. So I like that a lot. Yeah. He's nice. He's cool.
There's not many of them. It's like him, Rusty, and I mean Pratt would be somebody like I would be very interested to hear like his business, like how, not how, but like what his revenue streams are. Like, I don't know, little stuff like that. There's certain guys who've just kind of like figured it out and they've built a well-oiled machine. Like while we're talking different plays, they're like, yep, fits this, yep, fits that. And they're just like printing. Like that's the type of stuff I want to be able to like hopefully hear more about, in the future.
Yeah.
But
so another thing I was thinking about is like, what are we gonna like? What would you do different if you had to like do another one like next month or something? Like, what is something that you guys think you like didn't work or like you'd like to change a little bit? Whatever, anything you can think of.
Yeah. I mean, I can just kind of go off the cuff here, but I think my main goal coming up to the next Collecticon, where I've messed up multiple times because I had to tell so many people this, is I ideally, who the hell knows with PSA, right? You know, they get it sits in research and ID for 45 days, or it gets back to you in 28 days. You never know. But I always try to send out, you know, 2 or 3 subs about a week apart prior to like two months prior to Collecticon coming. I said this at the show, but I was super bummed out. So I had a really good sub with a lot of really good cards. It was like it wasn't a huge sub. It was like 70 cards of like really good inventory to have at the show. And I left on Friday, and I get them delivered to my mom's place because we have an issue with people stealing packages, even if it's a sign for it's just like more expensive stuff like get shipped there and whatever. So, and she lives like 5 minutes from me. So 45 minutes, you know, I've left. She calls me. She's like, "Hey, I just signed for that package you were telling me about." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "I'm too far removed to like turn around." I was like, "That'd been really good inventory to have," because there was like 3 or 4 times where people walked up and they were asking, "Hey, I'm looking for this card," or "Hey, I'm looking for this," and I was like, "Bro, I got this at home." Like,
You're like,
yeah, and like I had a sub come back. It was like 100 cards, give or take, like a week before Collecticon, and
that's nice.
I don't want to let inventory wait because you can never guarantee if it sells. And what I think I'm going to do now is stuff that's like super liquid is I'm going to list it on eBay, price it, you know, 20% higher, and then bring it to collected price everything that's not super liquid, price it, you know, to sell. And then that way I can bring it to the show and have stuff to sell and not have to, you know, not have to worry about reporting it at specific times a year and, you know, all the other stuff that shall not be mentioned. But yeah, I had like several times where people walked up asking about cards, and it's cards that I sold 2 or 3 days before Collecticon because it's like the stuff people want to see. And it's like, I already sold it on eBay because I priced it at low list, or, you know, I put it really well priced with a 3% ad rate or whatever it was. So it's just kind of like, I think that's going to be my strategy moving forward is if I get a sub back prior to or right before Collecticon, be more particular about how I list and what I list versus bring it to the show, because you bring an English Giratina V-Star from Crown Zenith PSA 10 right now in the hobby, you bring it to Collecticon, you price it $25 under last sold,
You're
gone.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I literally had to like stop listing. Like I was like, fuck, dude, I don't want to sell these cards that I know I could get like this or more cash for. Like I was like stressing a couple days before because I'm like, fuck these people. Don't buy my shit, dude. It's like, stop buying my shit. Because I didn't have a ton of cards and I'm still waiting on a ton from PSA. Like they got me an assembly like purgatory, bro. It's real dark over here. So
I have a pack submission of 15 packs that's been in research and ID for 60 days.
What the fuck? Okay.
All of it's 100% accurate too. Like I've messed up a couple times in RNID and I'm never going to mess up again. One time I sent off a big sub, and instead of Japanese bandit ring, I put Korean bandit ring, and it like, I could just tell it held things up for like 2.5 extra weeks. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this wouldn't happen if I go to list a Celebrations Charizard and the first thing to populate is Celebrations Charizard Italian. Like, why is that the first thing to pop up? It's like the dumbest thing ever. And English is like the very last one at the list. But anyways, I'm digressing. What about y'all?
I mean, speaking of PSAs, I mean, is it just me or is it taking like extra long now? I sent mine off
a little longer.
Yeah, like sheesh. Like it's getting close to 2 months now. And they're like still grading.
Like 6 weeks before, like recently in the last few months, but now like in this last submission with this last special, it seems like it's 2 months ish plus for some people.
I'm nearing 2 months and it's freaking still in grading. It's crazy.
Oof.
Well, the trick to get stuff back a lot quicker. You're muted.
All right, I've got to call all of you out here. Basic. You just said you're waiting 2 months and it's still in grading, and that's crazy. Think back literally like 1 year.
Okay.
Obviously, relative to the times. Obviously.
This man, bro, it's been like 8 weeks. Can you believe it?
What was it? What was it legit? 18 months?
It was 18 months.
Yeah,
It was a year and a half to grade a freaking card. You're like, bro, do you know how many weeks it's been? Like,
yeah, but it was also like $7 back then. Now it's 15. So we expect it back we expect it back. What is that? More than 9 times faster for double the price.
Well,
That's
no,
what we're doing. Yeah.
double the price. That means you get it in half the time. So you got 9 months. You're good.
So 9
Don't
months,
worry.
we're good.
We're
That's
trying to print
Beckett, though.
over
That's
here,
Beckett.
Pete. We're trying to print over here, Pete. We're trying to flip. I don't know what game you're on, but we're getting our flippers license over here.
He's
Bro,
trying not to make
illiquid
money,
and
dude.
niche. That's like what it
Yeah,
is.
bro. If we aren't getting these ARs back in 17 days, we are losing
I
money,
am
bro. Let's
fucked,
go.
okay? Listen, if I don't
Oh,
get
man.
T-cars in 30 days or less, dark. It's
That's
dark.
hilarious.
Yeah, and
I'm
what's really
broke.
weird too, and this is super anecdotal, probably not a thing, but like, you know how you send a few cards off at the 40 or at the 75, whatever you got, you print
Not
the duplicate
anymore.
label with the bulk, and then you print the label with the bulk. That way they open your package up faster and stuff like that. I feel like they still sit in grading for like a super long time. When it's
No, I've heard of that, and I've tried that in like multiple submissions to see if it changes, and it's never.
it gets
changed.
it gets into grading way quicker. Like that's a fact.
still
But I don't know if they
sits.
like it still sits though. So
I think they just make it up whenever they do. Like they'll scan it in, and they'll get it going, but they have to like I don't know. I think they're going to take as long as they're going to take.
they're like, oh, homie thinks he can let this he can get the
cute.
slide by us. Let me
Probably.
put this in the LMB pile. This will sit.
No,
for
they
2
probably
minutes.
get super
They just
annoyed
fling
at
it.
multi-submission
They just fling it
packages
into the
because
freaking-
well, no, it's probably super annoying because you got to think about it. You're going to open a box, then you're going to open 2 boxes, and you're going to go, all right, which one is which? Let me make sure it's in the right order. Great. Now we got to go through this guy's other box, like versus it's like, all right, here's this bulk order, send it, like call it a day. But I don't know. I think the original question, Thrifty, you said, what would we do different at CollectCon? What I would do, I wouldn't vend.
Really?
I would actually just go mobile and see how that would work out. Because I'm really
You haven't
curious
really
how
done
that worked for people.
yet, right?
I've never done that. No.
You mostly vended, but you dip early. Like I feel like Denver, you dipped a little early, but I don't think you did, right?
I think half a table is a sweet
I don't think
spot
I
for
did.
me.
I don't think I
Half a
did.
table with somebody you trust
Denver.
is the move.
Yeah,
I
but
think
Well, half a table I did enjoy like doing that DNA like next to you because like it did like work out pretty well. But I'm really curious with the sheer amount of people who came up with like they literally had like their suitcase with all their slabs like in their cases and stuff. Like I wonder how they did. Because I don't think that like the amount that I took home, like I didn't think it was extraordinary. I didn't think it was low, but I definitely didn't think it was like a crazy amount. So I'm wondering if some of these guys just hit every booth because you're mobile. You're literally talking to, especially if you're selling to vendors, customers, like as much as you want versus sitting there waiting for stuff to come to you.
right, that's true.
So that's probably what I would try. I would be very curious to like save the money on the table in the section, try to go out and like really do it. It wouldn't do much for like getting your name, I guess, out there as much because, you can decorate a table. Some people went crazy, but like it would be cool to be able to walk around and see how effective that could be and compare like what the revenue looks like to that. Because not all of us are going to be a nickel
tell you.
Pokemon where we can fill up 5 tables full of product and like if something gets empty, like I've got more product for you. Like, you know what I mean? Some of us, I mean, I probably own like currently maybe 90 slabs at most, but like Nick probably had Nick had more than that in like one table. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I have to say, all of you guys buying up booths, full tables, full sections, islands are dusted because the move is to take your stuff, sit it up against the wall, maybe a dinner table or 2. That's the move. I saw a couple of people do that. Dude, they never told them anything. They never said they couldn't do that. They're just setting up dinner tables up against the freaking wall by the restroom,
That's
and they're
funny.
freaking printing, bro.
I
no
saw
kidding.
it.
You
I
walk in the
saw-
bathroom into some guy, he like opens up a case. He's like,
"You want to see
I'll
my
help you wash
slabs,
your
dude?"
yeah, I'll help you wash your hands. You want a PSA 10 Radiant Charizard? I got you right here, bro.
Looks at basic. He's like, you look like a PSA 9 Pikachu guy. You look in this pocket right here. I got you.
Bro,
That's
that's the
funny.
move.
But I
There was-
thought like going mobile would be like a very interesting way to do it because I just don't think that like I don't know, like all the booths kind of started blending together. Like at no point that and this is really what brought that on is like walking to other booths, nothing stood out to me. No booth was original to me. No booth was like, whoa, look what they're doing, except for Rare Candy for obvious reasons. But like,
Kenley.
I mean,
Yeah, Pokemon Network.
it's
we
so
just
over the
doesn't-
top. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's like, oh, cool. Here's your like 37 base unlimited boxes. Like I don't give a shit, dude. Like you're not selling these. Like it's so much of a like a show, which, hey, look, all respect to Ken Lee, like whoever his buy group is or whatever he's doing, like that's cool. But like, it's like there's no happy medium. It's like either you've got nothing at your booth nobody cares about, or it's priced terrible, or like your selection sucks, or you're like so over the top Ken Lee status where it's like I don't even feel right looking at this stuff. Like there's no middle ground where people are like really doing some cool stuff, or they've got stuff that like is attractive, or they've like I don't know, maybe that's just me, but like anybody, I mean, DNA, you said you walked around for a few hours. You see anything that like drew you in at all that was like, wow, this is super cool?
Well, I mean, that's what I did in Long Beach, right? So I don't remember everything, but like the big advantage you have walking around is, being in the right place at the right time. Like there was a guy who's trying to move some like relatively like niche stuff, but it was still pretty liquid stuff. Like the probably one of the better deals I had, nothing super crazy, but I bought like a jungle seal theme deck case, or the seal theme deck box. I'm talking about, like they have like 8 of the starter decks, or whatever, like the jungle one. They're like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. So I think I bought one of those for like $950, listed it on eBay or something like that. Nick, I had a guy reach out to him trying to buy a theme deck display. He sent him over to me, and I think I made like, a good amount of profit on it. It wasn't anything super crazy, but did a pretty good deal there. I had an Aerodactyl fossil blister. Shout out to Basic. But I ran into a vendor. He was an Aerodactyl, or he was a blister collector. I sold to him at retail. But like the big thing with being a vendor is like, or being walking around, is you're going to run into a lot of people who are like, hey, I'm going to offer you 60% or 70% or whatever it is. And, I think this is just my opinion. This is the way that I would want to have it structured out, is unless I have like, I'm not very liquid and I have, lots of inventory, and I want a full table or 2 tables or 3 tables or whatever it is, depending on, how scaling goes. I think a half a table is the move, because you can put out your really liquid stuff and get with somebody you trust, to where, if there's a $3,000 deal going down, they're going to call you. But if there's a $250 deal going down, you can trust them with cash, and, just like everyone in the section you can trust, like Brad wasn't even there half the time, and I was working his table too. I know Ray gave him a lot of shit for that, but
Shots fired.
Yeah, he'd come back every time and be like, hey, here's $40, you owe me 5, I broke change, or like whatever it is, so like just like stuff like that. But that way you have a half a table, you can still walk, you're mobile, where if you have a full table, you have to get somebody else to cover your full table, and it's like they're doing their thing as well, and it's like if they get busy or whatever it is. So that's why I like the half a table options, because you still can walk around, you can be mobile, but you still have the people who come to you with trades, because half the stuff I bought was people who walked up to me, or I traded for raw and stuff like that. So I think that right there gives you the most opportunity. And I know Dan mentioned, like, he was like, hey, like, it sucks if all these people want to split tables and all this other stuff. It's like, bro, you just walk in, you act like you know what you're doing, they're not going to say anything to you. Like, and like the guys who run Collecticon, they're super cool. Like, like they're good people. So it's like, if you pay your dues or whatever it is, and, if somebody gives you crap, just give Old School a call, or give whoever's your section head, and be like, hey, this got paid. So,
yeah.
I would just love to see like somebody, like, because I go to trade shows for like my regular job. Like I would love for somebody to throw out like throw a putting green in front of your section and just be like, if you make a hole in one, like you'll win a slab. Like just something random, like out of nowhere, where you can just like, well, I mean,
DNA doesn't.
It could be anything. It could be anything.
What are we talking
about? Get like, and
much
not
less a putting green.
Well, not like spin wheels and like whatnot, like style like stuff, but like do something fun to like draw people in, or like, hey, I'm here, and then I'm also going to look at like all your cool stuff. Because the thing is like everybody's got cool stuff at their booth, right? So like when you look at what people have, like, and I think Mr. Walrus actually had a good like comment. He's like, we're desensitized to this, which I get, like, but also the mass market, like, we as people who like vend and like want to sell there, like we have to think like outside of the box. Like, how are you going to get the mass market to come in if they're so or they're not desensitized? They're just like, look at all these cards. It's like, oh wait, that person has this cool thing to do, or that person has this cool thing to do. I'm going to go play this game over there. And then you look at buying cards. I don't know. I was really surprised that it was more of like, the only difference is like if they flexed like Ken Lee, like, here's $200,000 of product, like that's going to sit here and we're not going to sell it. I don't know. It just didn't feel like there was any originality.
Like, I'm not going to those booths. Like, I see it, sure, it's cool, whatever, but I'm not like spending time at those booths even, you know? Like if
And
they're
which
flexing,
ones?
like the flexi booths, like Ken with
Well,
his fucking
exactly. Like it's too much. It's like, dude, I'm not like, why am I even standing here wasting your time? You want to talk about table hogs?
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
that's some
PSA.
rookie shit, dude. Yeah.
You got people looking at Dan's PSA 10 Dan in the Squirtle squad. I mean, quit flexing, bro. Like, you know, like get out of here.
Real shit. What a fucking. There's something that the guys in the card vlogs do, and there's like a roulette wheel, and they'll like have one like big ass card, like some big fucking Patrick Mahomes card, and it's like if you hit that number, you pay like $10 for the spin, and then if you hit that number, you get that card or whatever. They do that shit. They print all fucking day with that game, dude. Like, it's so crazy, and like no one's gonna hit it. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like,
well, Mr. Wallace said, I don't think games translates to sales, though. You're
No.
completely wrong in that, dude. It's all
I
numbers.
disagree.
The
I
more
disagree.
people you have, the more eyes you can get over there. It's literally just
The better,
probability
like,
someone's going to buy
possibility,
something.
yeah.
Like, it absolutely is going to attract more sales out of whatever you're doing. And granted, like, Collecticon may be different. I mean, you'd have to really like have a whole section and like man exactly what it's going to look like these companies who come, and that's who really I'm talking about. Like, I'm talking about like 12 of us getting, you know, however many tables and
Me and the
splitting.
homies. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking like, yeah, we're gonna split this table 8 ways. Like, I'm not talking that. I'm talking like these guys who are going out and like, I would love to like be excited to go one of these events and see a company like, oh man, like blah 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 is here. Like their booth is always so fun, even if I'm not going over to buy stuff. But guess what? If I go over there enough over the course of 2 days, like I want to play this or I want to play that, and I'm using games as like just an example, but like I'm going to go over there enough to where I'm going to be like, you know what do you guys have? Like, let me take a look. Like, let me see what you've got. Like, it's going to make me automatically feel that I owe you something. And also, I'm going to, at the bare minimum, be curious about what you guys are selling. Like, what do you have in the case? I don't know. That it may just be me and my experience in trade shows, but like that is what gets people in and gets eyes on what you're doing versus just looking across 500 vendors in a big warehouse and being like, where are the cards at? Like, I don't know.
What were you gonna say, Basic?
I think you would need to cater your inventory. I didn't know Basic was trying to talk. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Deanna.
I'll be quick, but I was basically gonna say I think you have to cater your inventory and cater your customer base to that though. You don't want to have like 50K of sauce in your at your table and then have like a spin wheel, right? Like the people who are buying, you know, Champions Festivals and the people who are buying like, you know, high-end cards like Dan's Crystals or whatever, like they're not looking for spin wheels. The people, if they see a spin wheel, like me personally, I had a girl walk up and she had like some slabs and stuff and she was like, she had a claw game on her table, you know, the hustle, whatever, you know, no disrespect, but she was like, you want to play the claw game? And I was like, no, like I'm not even gonna walk up to your booth because like I associate a claw game with like grab bags and just like a bunch of junk. But if you have like a stand behind you and you have like light up stuff and you have plushies and you got booster packs and you got all this other stuff, you're like, hey, hit a spin wheel. And if you get this, you get this percentage off these booster packs. If you know, like that works. But if you're just like, hey, I have a PSA 10 Ultimate Rare Blue Red Eyes Black Dragon, it's 4K, and I got a spin wheel next to me for a trick or treat booster pack, like that just it doesn't work well together. You know what I mean?
Well, it definitely has to fit the market, right?
That's
like,
just my opinion, though.
I completely agree
sure.
with you. But I think if you're a company renting out, like a company coming in, you're selling modern and you're trying to get as much in the mass population to buy your stuff as possible. You're an LGS, I mean, basically. And that's what I would imagine doing that. Again, not like, you know, people, the mass market's not looking for Champions Festivals. They're looking for cheap Evolving Skies packs and they're looking for Lost Origin, like, or alt arts. Like, that's all they care about. So, like, that's the thing is, like, because you know everyone else is going to have those who you're at least your direct competition. Like other LGSs, that's what they're going to have, right? So you have to find a way to get them to you first. Like that's the goal. Like it's not about like, hey, I'm just going to call people over for nothing. It's like, no, those people who would normally walk because we're maybe not the first booth you walk up to, because they see us, they're like, oh, I'm going to go to this guy. Oh, that's cool. Let's go over here. Like you've automatically stolen business from your competitor just by doing something silly.
Yeah.
I guess that's my whole point about it.
So I think
the people who are going to be gravitated towards that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a great. No, you're good, DNA. I think it's interesting because it's my experience during this one, which I was showing up to Dallas just because I really had no business there other than, this is going to be free time Collecticon, right? I have no ties, or so I thought. No ties, no Metazoo tournaments, no nothing. I'm just going to just straight chill, right? I did some walking around. I did some checking out the booths. And obviously, I think I'm an extreme, but I just looked around. I'm like, this is so lame. Like, I'm not doing this. I remember when I used to go to these things strictly with a budget. I'm buying slabs, what have you. Now it's just like the complete opposite. And again, for obvious reasons, I get it. The desensitization aspect of it is 100% there. Maybe a lot of these collecticons are local heavy base where they're drawing locals more heavily than people flying in. People that are flying in are more like just your big guys in the hobby or vendors, right? You guys have been to a few of these already, back to back. However, a handful of them. If you guys were to, in your heads, what does the chart look like? The trend look like for collecticons, and the interest in what you're selling, and how successful you're at these collecticons. Just strictly taking what you have and selling it. What does that trend look like to you in your head? Like, is it positive? Is it staying, is it staying neutral? Is it going down? Like, how does that look like to you guys? Going forward as well.
There's a lot of people. Like, I didn't see any, like, I went outside for the line, right? Like in the morning at like 9:30 or something like that, to just like, I was like, dude, I need a break. And so I go outside and the fucking line is like 1,000 people deep. Like, I was shocked. I was like, holy shit, dude, this is crazy. Like, I wasn't expecting it. And then, like, the attendance is shocking. Like, that's insane to me. And like Orlando, same shit. Like Denver, same stuff. Like, I'm sure Long Beach was like that. I heard they had to, like, they sold out of tickets. Like, that's amazing. But I don't know how sustainable it is if they keep going to the same places. That's one thing. Is like, maybe they need to try different markets or something, or like go to like more lucrative areas versus like, I don't know, like doing one in Boston versus doing one in Charlotte. Like, I know it costs more to do it in Boston, but like, there's a shitload more money there too, probably. You know what I mean? So
they haven't touched the Midwest, and I'm talking about like the upper real Midwest and Northeast.
I mean, they have Missouri. That's Kansas City, but
that's not the Midwest.
It kind of is. I mean,
am I lagging?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you are.
Okay, I'm gonna leave and come back really quick.
You went from this to this. You had like a cup like magically appeared next to you. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, and I know like Charlotte, Kansas City, like these are in the center of the United States, but I'm talking about like the real Midwest of the United States. I'm talking about Chicago, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, Cleveland. I mean, I don't know if we want to go to Ohio, but
I'm not going to fucking Cleveland, dog. Get the fuck
Cincinnati's, these Pittsburgh, these central areas, and then Northeast, let alone Northeast, there's a ton of cities out there in the Northeast that they haven't touched, but yeah.
What was the original question, DNA? You said something about like the graph of Collecticon. It's better, DNA. Still a little bit.
A little laggy actually now, but it's better.
No, but yeah, my question was, regarding if you look at the chart, the trend of Collecticon, what does that chart look like? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it going up? Or is it going down? Is it staying neutral from the seller standpoint? Are you that liquid? Is it really dependent on what you're bringing? Obviously, I think the answer to that is yes, based on pricing. But
yeah,
I think it was just my own perspective that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth from a spectator standpoint. It was just like, oh man, these suck now. You know, like just from a spectator standpoint, it's like this. Yeah, unless I'm going there with the intention to buy, which will most likely not happen anymore. Like these sucking, you know, these all suck. I don't know.
I think that I'm super bullish on Collecticon in general. I think these guys have like built something that is like, it's absolutely impressive to enter the space like this and be able to get the amount of vendor support, because vendors pay for this thing. Like tickets are great and they do make a lot of money for tickets. Don't get me wrong. But like without the vendors, like you have nothing, right? You've got Tone Lock like doing a super loud concert for 30 minutes. Like it's not anything. But I can kind of see it both ways. I see the trend going up in popularity for sure, because I think that it's just getting more and more popular to have conventions like this. And Collecticon is good in the fact that it's not too specific. It's not just like Anime Con. It's not just like Kamea Con. Like it's
Right.
like it's Collecticon, which engulfs like anything that you can collect, which I think is super needed. I think that's a space that does need to be filled, and I think they're doing it right. I think that the biggest thing is I think that they're still figuring it out, and I think that's obvious with them doing the panel at the trade night, casino night, like having an actual like, because I've seen that at work, like, and that's something that you do, but it's not, you don't do that at the after somebody's been at a show for 12 hours.
That's
like you
crazy.
do that, you
Like,
do
that's
that in the
crazy.
beginning, like that's part of the slots, and like I think it's one thing that's tough is because they have like the schedules posted, but the website isn't really like easy to navigate a ton. Like I wish they would just have it to where it's like maybe every celebrity guest that they have, they do an interview for 30 minutes on a stage, like Chuck Norris, Pink Power Ranger, Blue Power Ranger, Black Power, like you could fill out the entire day and they all do an interview in front of everybody. Take some panel questions, take like the crowd questions. Like you could really be creative versus just turning a concert up to like 12 out of 10 once during the day and then like Jason Page. So I think there's things to work on. I'm bullish on it. I think they'll figure it out, but I think that this is definitely, I think it's grown like tremendously compared to what it was like a year ago, like as far as attendance. But it's my long rant about that.
I didn't see any of them. Like I didn't go to many last year other than Denver. Or no, I guess I did Charlotte too. That was like the least attended one, or like the lower kind of like the chillest one that I've been to probably is Charlotte. Before this, so
I just didn't get a sense of this overwhelming amount of people, surge of people in just this one room. And then on top of that, how many of these people are actually coming with the intention to buy versus just like, oh, let's just hang out for a Saturday, right? Let's just go, there's something to do. And that's kind of where I'm getting at. Like, how many people are actually coming in here to buy into the hobby versus
Saturday was insane, dude. I don't know what time you were there, but there were so many people there, like Saturday from like 12 to 3. It was ridiculous. It was like squeezing by everybody. So like I would say there was a ton of people there.
I don't know, Pete. You were selling. You were vending. I walked
around. I did. I would take like 10, 15-minute breaks.
I got there around 2 o'clock, and it just didn't feel like there were a lot of people there in comparison to others that I've been to.
Orlando was popping. Yeah, it was definitely a slower Collecticon, but it could be the time of year. I mean, people spend their tax money. We're approaching summer. It's hot as hell in Dallas. People might be out.
Or it could have been where we were at. We're all the way in the fucking boonies, dude. Like comparatively to where we were at in Denver and in I guess we were kind of in the back in Denver though, but not in Orlando. Like we were popping like right off. In Orlando. But yeah.
I don't think there's an exact science. I don't think you need to make your booth a boutique and have like one specific item. I think diversifying, cater to your clientele that you're trying to get to.
It was a good time.
He said, "Remember when y'all collected?" That's funny. We collect things, certain things. I collect all my illiquid stuff that doesn't sell. I'm technically collecting it.
He's collecting a shitload of Zelda, bro. It's surreal.
Dude, my Zelda moves, which is insane. Like, I'm telling you, I'm super bullish on the Zelda, like all day. It's the number one thing that people have seen at Collecticons that is garnered their attention more than anything.
It's like what you're known for is the Zelda.
I know, which is
The
hilarious
Zelda.
because like so many people, like you look on eBay, like there's so many people selling Zelda, but it's like I've never heard anybody talk about it except for Radar. He's the only guy I know that's even opened it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of those things that's like it's funny
I'll tell
to
you what
have
did
stuff
really-
like that.
Sorry,
What?
I don't know if I cut you off.
That's all good. Go ahead.
I'd tell you what did really well that I was really happy with was I was looking for something different to bring. And I love Teen Titans. That's like one of my most nostalgic cartoons.
Fire shows.
Starfire.
Dude was getting some traffic with those.
Yeah. So I bought a sealed thing of 12 blisters. And it was like the last one on eBay. I bought it for like $44 or something like that. Sold all of them. So I was
Nice.
super happy about that. I
Oh,
sold them
did
at,
you? I didn't know you got rid
yeah.
of them all.
Yeah, $15 a piece. I did some good trades with them, so I was super stoked.
nice.
There wasn't a ton of people that were interested in them, but one dude came up, traded me a bunch of Topps raw cards for him, plus some cash.
You lost.
And then this other dude came up and he bought all the remaining ones that I had. So
the money's in the niches. I'm telling
yeah.
you.
But I saw those and I was like, yo, at Collecticon, I was like, people don't see these. I was like, I didn't even know these existed. I was like, Teen Titans is gas. I was like, it's a sealed blister from like 2004. I was like, $15 a piece. People are going to snap this. So,
I mean, that's what
Yeah.
it is. It's like finding cool stuff like that because, like, dude, everybody has Pokemon. And that's honestly like, I forget who it was that said it earlier, but maybe it was Basic whenever you were talking about Metazoo and people were commenting about you leaving Pokemon, or Swami, that's who it was. But it's like you kind of get bored seeing the same stuff, right? So you start hunting and looking at other stuff that you like. And that's the same thing. I just went back and was like, what did I grow up with as a kid? Are there cards for that? Cool. What are the rarest ones? Awesome. I just found a new goal. I just found something to like chase after and look at. And until something kind of like starts checking those boxes, I think it's a really important way to be like intentional with like what you're buying. Because really Pokemon can be so overwhelming. It's like, I'm buying mid-air, I'm buying vintage, I'm buying like modern stuff. I got to keep up with all this. And like at that point, you just bought a bunch of really random shit. I mean, ultimately, like, and you're like, I'm going to grade it. And then you just get back a bunch of 8s. And all you did was spend a lot of time and a lot of money doing nothing for stuff that you really don't care about. And that's partially why I've just like started going into more niche stuff, is because I'm like, I actually do like this stuff. In worst case, like if I can't sell it, I'm okay holding on to it. Like that's kind of the fun thing about it. And I think that people definitely react to like people's passion about stuff. So like if you're really into this and somebody understands it, like they grew up with it just like you did, they're like, you know what, dude, like this is super cool.
That
Like
is
I'm a
fire,
fan
dude.
of this. Yeah, like that stuff's contagious, man. Like we don't have to worry about Pokemon being contagious because it's Pokemon, but like I don't know. I've just run into that with like Dragon Ball. Obviously, Zelda's something too. VHSs, like as DNA got to see in person, this dude was like, "That's my favorite movie." Like I'm about it. Like it was, and I was like telling him about like it's got the $5 off Jello sticker from 1999, so that's what makes it this. And like this dude was like locked in, like ready to learn. I just find that stuff so fun. So
Funny.
and yeah,
Yeah.
like you go into the niches. So when I opened this blister up or the case up, 2 of them fell off. So I opened up 2 of the packs and I was like, whatever, I'll just see what these are about. You can pull a Nishida or you can get a cyborg foil and a gizmo foil. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can say whatever you want, but I mean, we got Cyborg right here telling us there's no meat in my pepperoni. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
yo, chill out. Whoa.
DNA.
That's what
I've
it
never
says.
watched-
It says it on the card.
I've never watched a single episode of Teen Titans in my life.
Bro, Teen Titans
Dude.
was a shit, dude.
Same.
Yo.
The Teen Titans Go, awful. The rendition, terrible. But dude,
No.
you can go if you have ad block, you can go and watch them all online for free. They're super good, super good.
I've never seen
It's
it.
like it's like a show. I mean, you have like Robin. I pulled out some of the cards, but I mean, you have like Robin from Batman and Robin. I mean, it's all the DC characters, and it's a really good show. You can watch as an adult or you can watch it as a kid, and you'll enjoy it. It's kind of one of those cartoons.
I'll check it out. I know one of the more recent things, I say recent things, like one of the things I watched like anime wise or like cartoon wise was One Punch Man is the most recent thing, or that or Food Wars. Have you ever seen Food Wars? It's some anime where they have like these intense like cooking competitions, but it's absolutely hilarious. Like, you know, just Japanese humor, like an anime. I don't know, but One Punch Man was one of those that I really got into for a little bit. Mr. Walrus said Dragon Ball has too many shirtless dudes. Sus.
Yeah. Yeah, Retro's on point tonight. Maya and Raven. Yeah, he knows what's up. Yeah, dude, and Slade. You got Slade here too. I didn't pull the foil. Apparently the red X the red X foil is like the chase, and it's like $100 card raw. But
damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than I thought those were going to be.
Yeah, I saw one, and they're not super great quality. The backs are actually really cool. I think the backs are pretty dope. But yeah, basically, what was your favorite cartoon growing up? That's the most nostalgic for you. We grew up in a different era. Just Pokemon?
I mean,
other than,
yeah, I was gonna say other than the obvious Pokemon, but
I still wish he would just say Metazoo and just like not even flinch at all. Metazoo, cryptid documentaries,
cartoons specifically. I mean, it has to be The Simpsons. The Simpsons just from day one. The Simpsons as anime. I never watched much of anime.
You strike me as like a straight up Rocket Power guy. I feel like you watched a lot of Rocket Power.
What is that?
Did you ever see that on Nickelodeon? Dude, that was like the greatest show of all time.
No, I remember the Saturday shows. Oh man, who was the superhero dude? Super normal guy though, but his superhero skill, what have you, power was calculating like what he needed to do in order to save the day. So, and then he'll have this like phrase, check it out, dial it in, amp it up. And then he puts everything together in his brain, right? Like, oh, I got a sling over here, 30 meters at 2 freaking miles per hour, and that'll ricochet me over here. And then once he puts all of that together in his head, he'll go, check it out, dial it in, amp it up, and then he gets it all to go. Someone's going to figure it out. Let me Google that. That was one of my favorite shows growing up, but Pinky and the Brain.
I think you just made that up.
No, seriously.
Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain was dope.
Pinky
I watched
and
a lot of Pinky and the Brain.
I've never heard of that, to be honest.
Pinky and the Brain. It's super old school.
What?
And.
It's 2 mice, and they like talk.
Check it out.
Robot somebody's
it up. Action Man. There it is. Action Man.
Oh, wait, I remember us having a conversation on VHSs, and you brought up Action Man, I think. And I looked this guy up.
Yeah, Action Man. Basically not saying El Chavo del Ocho. Oh, Chavo del Ocho. Well, I mean, he said animated, so Chavo del Ocho is not animated.
Mine was like Dragon Ball. I never really watched a lot of the Pokemon show, ever. I was only on the cards as a kid.
Crazy. That's
like I never watched the show.
All right.
I don't think I saw a single. Oh no, it's Rugrats.
Got these in today.
So I never saw a single episode of Pokemon until I saw the movie.
Really?
I only played the games and only did the cards. I just never got into the show. And honestly, like Dan just referenced like One Saturday Morning, which is like it's like one of those nostalgia like things. Like, you know how they have like the sleeper soldier in Captain America and they said that phrase and he changes? Like, just reading that, I just played that back in my head from when I was a kid. It's like One Saturday Morning. Like, I remember that like perfectly. But if it wasn't playing then, it was like Power Rangers, Dragon Ball, and I don't know, like all the Disney Channel movies. That was pretty much it. But animated, that was about it.
Bobby's World was lit.
Tattoos.
Anybody remember Bobby's World?
Yeah,
Bobby's World.
Dude.
Sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
Bro, it was Howie Mandel.
I'll tell you all this though. Avatar: The Last Airbender on a Saturday morning on the shitty TV that I had sitting at the countertop, eating my Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Hell yeah, bro.
Chef's kiss, yeah.
Mine was Adult Swim.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is underrated.
Adult Swim. Yu Yu Hakusho. Like listen to Steve Bloom. Like throw down like what it was. It was like Yu Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop, and like all that. Dude, I would stay up so late like watching that stuff. That was my go-to. Like, or Outlaw Star. If anybody in chat really knows like some OG stuff here, Outlaw Star was like where it was at.
Gargoyles. You guys remember Gargoyles?
I used to really love when they'd take their claws and it would look like like I don't know, something about the visual of them like climbing the buildings, and it was like they just got destroyed super easy. Yeah, Gargoyles was dope. The guy who was the guy who voiced the main character of that show?
The big dude.
He's a really famous guy. I can't
Yeah,
remember his name
yeah.
though.
I have no clue. Gargoyles, actually, now that I think about it, really takes me back because it ties in a lot with Burger King and Burger King toys. Burger King went hard with Gargoyle toys, and obviously Burger King and Pokemon was a freaking thing, right? So I just remember Friday nights. It was always, for the longest, we would always, where are we going, this Friday night? And it'll be XYZ. During Pokemon freaking Frenzy, it was, where are we going? Burger King. Where are we going next week? Burger King. Where are we going next week? Burger King.
dude.
Is this why you were all bullish on the Burger King chicken sandwich? Because you were wrong for that, bro.
That is
No,
so
okay.
bad.
And I put in parentheses. I'm not talking about the Burger King long sandwich. No, you gotta ask for the alternate chicken sandwich.
So like the $17 chicken sandwich is not worth $17.
Pretty much. Oh, dude, it slaps. Oh, Culver's. But Culver's is more like a Midwest, East, Northeast fast food chain. I haven't seen Culver's South or West.
Shout out to Thrifty for the hookup for Popeye's chicken sandwich. First one I've ever had. And
All
it was
I know
fire.
is
It was
I was
good.
so happy to introduce my uncultured friends to the Popeye's chicken sandwich. It was the highlight of the weekend for me, friends. I'm so happy you all enjoyed it.
Popeyes is great. I remember
Underrated.
it wasn't that crazy.
Underrated, dude.
The PJs. You guys remember the PJs?
The PJs. That's like
Eddie
an
Murphy?
old Cartoon Network show.
Eddie Murphy. It's about the family in the projects.
I remember watching it, but I can't remember like any specifics. It's like reminds me of like the Proud. Like I keep thinking of it, but I keep thinking of the Proud Family for some reason instead.
Here, let me pull something up here. Let me.
Hey Arnold was pretty lit too.
Oh, fucking Hey Arnold, dude.
Oh, Hey
Hey
Arnold.
was great.
Hey
Hey
Arnold.
Arnold.
Hey Arnold reminds me of Recess.
Yeah,
Recess
Recess was good.
Dude, you watched all
I,
that and you never watched Rocket Power? Come on.
Dude, Rocket Power is the shit, dude.
That's such an awesome show.
Yikes.
I loved Dexter's Laboratory was one of my favorites.
Laboratory, yes.
I was into Dexter's Laboratory for a good while too.
Thrifty, if you want to share the PJs, I'm sharing my screen over here. If you want to check it out.
Okay.
I got to tap
This
out.
man
your
said
screen.
Proud. This man said
Got
Proud
tap?
Family was good.
Yeah, I'm getting a little sleepy and I got to be up early. I've never seen this before though. What is
So
this?
it's voiced by Eddie Murphy, the main character.
I've never
it's
heard
freaking hilarious. 1998, I believe, 1999 maybe.
That's where I was
Yikes,
born.
dude. This animation is
Dude, this show is hilarious. It's so dope.
great. I gotta go.
Ray and Z got some Helga and Arnold going on. Damn, that's a deep cut.
Yeah,
too.
that's true. That is like the relationship
That's
that
awesome.
was not meant to be.
How is
all right,
Dan in
then.
chat at 11:30 and not on video right now?
It's 12:30 for him.
Yeah.
12:30. That's right. It is for him.
I mean, he could tap in at DNA, that's all he got. I don't think
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like 10 minutes. I'm gonna bounce out.
you're gonna rally.
That's what Basic says in his
I've heard-
8-hour-long streams.
I was just gonna say I've heard that one before on my live stream DNA. Like then you go for
Yeah,
freaking
weren't you the
hours.
PIC
No, I gotta-
for like so long in Basic streams?
No, I gotta be up early. I gotta go teach. I gotta do the weather forecast in the morning, and I gotta do some skydiving instructing.
How many
and-
jumps you got tomorrow, Dina?
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. So
Ben's got some wide receivers to run routes. He's got to
Yeah.
tell them where to go.
yeah, I got a busy day tomorrow. I'm telling you. Yeah, I got a busy day.
That's hilarious.
Well, DNA shit's in the description. You guys all follow him anyways, so don't worry about it.
We all follow each other. We already know what it is.
Yeah, Kim Possible. All retrospects of the big.
Yeah,
callback.
rock Pokemon in the description.
Sorry, I fucked that up. I gotta change it to basic.
Yeah, what happened to Rock? Was he not coming in here?
Rock was too sleepy, dude. I was like pushing it with 9:30 with him, and I was like,
And he lives in New York,
yeah,
a
he
city
was
that
gonna,
never sleeps.
yeah. He doesn't live in New York, the city that never sleeps. He lives in Rochester, the sleepiest New York town.
The city of all
Yeah.
time.
Slump City.
Bullish
Real slumpy.
on Dan Ketchumall's Metazoo videos.
Okay, well, we might never get another one. Who knows? Ah, shit, guys. This is super fun. I'm happy we could all get together and kind of just, put it all together because I left super early on Sunday. So I just figured I didn't get to talk numbers with many of you guys. So I thought it'd be good to, see how everything did. But yeah,
Talking numbers is overrated.
we're not talking
Margin
numbers tonight. We're
is-
talking
is-
fun. But yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to? I just thought about this. What happened to Retro? I thought he was jumping in this too.
I was gonna but I figured him and Josh would want to do the podcast. I try to get people that don't already have their own thing they regularly do, so that way
You just
they
demoted. You
take the
demoted this
call.
man to a chat king.
Bro, he is a chat king, but he also has probably a podcast on Sunday that he's gonna talk about all this shit. So I didn't want him to, you guys have to hear all this shit.
He's going to listen to Josh talk about it. Let's not lie here.
Oh,
I love Cardboard Hands
Yeah.
featuring
Nick,
Josh.
aka
And
Giovanni,
sometimes Retro
aka
and
the
Flex.
Brat, aka
The
Mojo
Brat.
Jojo.
The brat.
The bread.
is Mojo Jojo, dude. Yikes. He's the real life Mojo Jojo.
No, I think that the turnout to Dallas, as far as the people that I wanted to hang out with, was really great.
Hi.
As far as the consumers, the buyers,
Bless.
sure, I thought it worked fine. I thought it was good. It wasn't anything exceptional, but I think just the sheer amount of people that I was happy to hang out with, that was worth
Yeah.
any cost or time or whatever.
Bro, you didn't
For
even hang
sure.
out. You went home. You got kids. You went home at 5. What are you talking about?
I was out till 10 on Saturday.
Oh,
Pete, you have
maybe
kids?
9:30.
Some slack.
Pete,
Yeah, I
you
have two.
kids?
I have 2.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, how come you never talked about your kids?
Because it's the internet. Why
because
would
they're
I want
boring. What are we talking about?
What the hell?
I'm just saying.
They're buying slabs. I'm not worried about
I
them.
can't-
Yeah, talking about kids is
Plastic.
boring. Let's talk about
I just
Zelda.
would have thought kids would have slipped out of your mouth at some point. You got kids?
I'm pretty
No
sure
way.
I've mentioned I think I've mentioned something before.
Never. You've mentioned
Everyone just watch
Yeezys.
back all my content.
No, you've mentioned Yeezys. You mentioned bourbon. You mentioned Dragon Ball Z or whatever that version of Dragon Ball Z.
I have yet to mention the most expensive expense that I have. Only the other ones.
So funny, dude.
Yeah, I have 2 kids.
Oh, nice.
2 daughters.
Awesome. 2 daughters.
Yeah, dude. That's super cool.
Girl dad.
I mean, it I just made them, dude. I got the easy
I
part.
just
so.
made them. What do you want from me? I can't slap them or nothing. Can't
It's real hard.
Can't optimize them or
Can
They're already optimized.
we grade children yet? Because I've got some PSA 1 stocks I'm ready to
Whoa.
cash in on. I'm so
Whoa.
kidding. I'm so
You have
kidding.
to bend them up if you want. That's rough. Let's move on. Oh fuck, dude. All
But
right,
yeah,
let's
being
go.
able to hang out with everybody there was super sick. It was cool how many people FOMO'd in. I was happy about that.
It was a good group, I think. So
Because even Charlie was wanting to make his money back, and he did not make his money back at all. I was like, you didn't bring anything to sell. He was like,
well, good
his
point.
face was like, well, yeah, you're right.
Bring one carry-on. That's all, dude. Shit.
I will say that I did sell Charlie an item that he is mailing me a check for.
Hey,
I'm not even making this up. I was like, are you serious? He was like, yeah. It's like,
It's like you just got scammed by the pillar.
dude,
of
Charlie
value.
Herlocker, dude, mail me a check.
by
whatever.
Charlie Herlocker.
Yeah, it says the man who was like, man, this guy's living in 2040. He just pushed back to 1998, bro.
He did. Or he's got his account set up correctly.
sending checks. Dude.
Sorry, wife. The accounts are actually made up.
The way
Really
my
well.
credit card works, the way my bank account works.
When my bank account's set up.
The way my scams work.
He had a really good idea. He had a really good idea though. And I'll share it here because it's 11:30 my time, 12:30 everybody else's time, and we're 2 hours and 53 minutes into a live. So if you catch this, you're paying attention. But he, what he talked about is taking mangas, not awake mangas, and cutting out different, really popular Pokemon, Lugia, Pikachu, Tyranitar, all of these different ones, and then framing them and then selling those as because they're from an actual manga that's
Right.
fairly well known. You're getting a specific Pokemon, almost treating it almost like not cells from a movie, but like cells from a manga.
That's cool.
So
Damn.
I was like, I never even thought about that. He just randomly just hit me with it like for like 15 minutes. And I was like, I'm sold. I'm not buying, but I'm sold. Like,
Yeah, bro.
done.
I was saying the same thing to like old school a while back. Like, bro, just like take all the pins and make a fucking shadow box or something where it's like you have like all the pins like for the badges or whatever on like a velvet like pillow or some shit, and you just fucking poke them all through, and like somebody would hang that up on their wall, and that's like a way to sell the pins for like 50 or 60 bucks instead of like, you know, 20 or whatever they cost. I don't know how much 6 of them are or whatever, how many, badges it is, but
I'm pretty
just
sure
like-
I still have my old badges from the
from the
like
league,
whatever you go to
whatever.
compete. Yeah, the league or whatever. I think I have the book with the Sam those.
Yeah. It's cool though. There's a lot of cool shit you can do. Like, even like, I don't know, there's just like stuff you can find. Like, I think Radar has the clear file, like the Munch clear files that he just framed. And it's just
Mhm.
like, that's fire. Like, you have the card, and the card's like fucking, the Pikachu's like $3,000, but like that clear file is like 40 bucks or something on eBay. Like, that's a super cool display piece that you can just like put up cheaply and have it in your house. Like,
Yeah, that's what's crazy about Pokemon, and I think why the attraction is still there for me. Like, I still like buying stuff because there's still so many cool niche things to be able to buy. Like,
Yep.
obviously, the JR Saberly promos are like my go-to. I spend way too much money on those trying to get tens, but the like I found it was like the Forest Park Pikachu, I think is what it is. DNA or not DNA. Basic, have you ever heard of that before? It's like the Forest Park like promo.
I know what you're
Isn't
talking
there a
about.
bunch of
Do
Pikachu's?
you know what
in
I'm
it?
talking about? Okay, so I just found out about that maybe like 3 weeks ago.
Oh shit!
Just like scrolling, browsing random eBay listings from sellers that I follow, and I had never heard of that before. Do you remember the backstory to what that card is? Like,
I
or
don't.
how you
I'm
get
really,
it?
I'm really bad with a lot of that stuff, but I know
I
what
think
card
it's
you're
like
talking
similar
about.
to Poke Park though, something like that. Or
Maybe
it's-
that's the name I'm trying to think of. Is Poke Park?
It's Pokey Park. It has like a forest in the background.
Yeah,
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 and it's hollow.
yeah.
Yeah. It's so they had several Poke Park releases, and that's if I'm not mistaken, they had 2 Poke Park releases that same year. They made a non-hollow, and then they made the hollow version, and then the hollow one's the one that sells for decent money. I've graded a few of the Poke Park cards, never the Pikachu because I've never found that's worth grading, but I've graded the Latios. I think it's a 04 release, if I'm not mistaken, and there's quite a few of them. But you should be careful with a lot of those sealed promos because dense. So
Right. Yeah, I just remember like finding that and being like, okay, cool.
It's a super sick
I've
card.
never heard of this. Like, this is such an awesome story of like
Yeah.
acquisition. I don't know. There's just so many different versions of that stuff. But
have you ever seen pictures of the actual Poke Park in Japan?
no,
I've not seen anything. No,
It's
but I'm
super
sure
sick.
fire.
It's like a whole theme park with like Pokemon theme rides. It's really,
That's
really cool.
I don't know why they haven't done that shit yet. Honestly, like, how is that not a real thing already? I don't understand.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see. Well, I was trying to see who the illustrator was because I can't put a name to it. But I think that same artwork, if I'm not mistaken, is on the big jumbo for the 25 illustrators for the Celebrations Pikachu release. Yeah, and actually I've graded the other Pikachu and the Mudkip, but the PSA digged me super hard. They damaged them.
Yikes.
Yeah, I was pretty bummed about that. It is Illustrator I'm not familiar with, but yeah, it's 2005 release. Poke Park's Forest Hollow is what you're talking about.
Those are nice, dude.
I'm cracking up at Retro trying to talk about his he needs a Viridian City pin for his suit, and Dan called him out, was like, Dubsy's got that look. That's true, bro. You can't take the Giovanni. You're competing
Bro,
with
we're
Dubsy.
coming for Dubsy, bro. I'm sorry. Dubsy,
You're
don't
coming
show
for
your
Dubsy.
face, bro. If you don't show your face, get the fuck out of here with your suit, dog.
I think
Dubsy's
it's
already
actually
in
super
Dubai,
sick.
and he has a Black Label Rockets Giovanni, I think, or it's a BGS 10, one of the two.
Yeah, he
Artro's
does.
got
No,
some
it's a Black Label.
catching up to do. Yikes.
That dude has like all the things. Pretty sure he bought the Snap Pika. I don't know if everybody saw the Snap Pika come up for sale from
yeah,
Magi.
that's fire. Yeah, this bitch, Pete posted everywhere. He's like, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I did post it everywhere.
Dude, no, I'm serious though. Like, that is insane. That's the first time it's ever come up. Like, that's the
crazy,
first
yeah.
photo
That's
we've seen
crazy.
outside of like the old, like,
We were talking about that in Dallas with Charlie because I asked him, I was like, "Have you ever owned any Snap cards?" And he was like, "No." I was like, "Have you seen them all?" I don't know a lot about the lore of a lot of stuff, and he was like, "Yeah." He said the Magikarp, I think, and the Pikachu, they haven't surfaced, and then like a day later, it was like Pikachu sold for $230 or whatever it was. So it was
yeah, the
kinda crazy to see that.
Magikarp came up last year for the first time, and then the Pikachu came up this year. Dubsy is retro in the future that came back to Flux. Of course, he would be out of Dubai too. No, yeah, I think that was insane. Like, to see that finally surface after all this time, because especially in the peak when stuff were like was like selling for crazy amounts, like you were even seeing Snap cards come up and like selling for the first time. Like, I don't understand why the Pikachu didn't come out.
How did it take that long, right? Like, what the fuck? Like, when you think that like having the Magikarp come out would be a good time to like bring it out, just because there's so many more like people that are learning about that than like letting it just like sit for 6 months, whatever, a year. I don't know how long ago it was the Magikarp sold, but
yeah, I just don't know. I don't know who. I don't know the motivation. Like, I mean, I understand selling to Magi, and realistically, there have been some like Pro Retrox and Magi. I can't remember they've finished their Instagram handle, but like Pro Retrox, I know, like, because I've followed, they've sold like so many Snap cards. No real Rocket Boss would collect that much. He said he collects it, and he's flipping all of this. No,
it's funny.
But like, there hasn't been a lot of marketplaces that have bridged the gap between American buyers and Japanese sellers. Like,
That's true.
for high-end stuff that's been like safe. So like, I think that's been part of what's like flushed a lot of this stuff out, and seeing a Snap Pika come up is like amazing, because I mean, literally we've had one image of a Snap Pika for like however many years it's been, 20 or whatever. It's just so cool to like see it finally surface and like finally sell, and I would be surprised if Dubsy didn't buy it, because like the chances of another one coming up are
so slim.
I mean, maybe, because it's probably the same guy who has all 20 of his copies. So like, he could be slow rolling these out. There's a chance of that, or there's a chance that this is the only one left. Like, we have no idea. But
barely a chance.
who knows, dude? I mean, you've got to think, like, when somebody got this, they were probably kids. I can almost guarantee they were kids when they got these cards. Like, think about what you did with your Pokemon cards as a kid. Like, you might have had them, you might have saved them, thrown them in a binder, whatever, or you could have done what the majority of kids did and just, oh, look at these Pikachus, I got them in Pokemon. Like,
can someone ban Mr. Walrus, please? Please, good fucking night, dude.
I mean, I kind
Look at
of
this
cards in
blasphemy shit, dude. Come on, bro. Chill out.
you're losing your goat status, Walrus. You gotta text that to yourself.
Chill out, dude. Calm
Keep
down.
saying that kind of stuff.
You got the wrong audience for that comment, little homie.
So Snap cards are like one of the coolest stories, one of the coolest releases.
I think they're kind of mids personally, but
Okay, fuck off. You both booed him. Good night. Goodbye, DNA.
It's time. It's time.
Take him out of the description.
That's it.
Just how hilarious that he's just
booted.
Yeah, DNA's like, for real? Like, dang.
I was like,
dude, nobody's
damn.
looking at the Snap
Wait a
Gyarados.
fucking minute. This bitch booted me.
Bro, nobody's
I mean, the
looking at
story's
Snap-
cool, but like,
If you're looking at the Snap Gyarados, you grew up in that time and you played like Pokemon Snap, like,
Anybody that played Snap,
Dude.
is like,
I didn't play Snap. That's one thing, and two, it's
Really?
like this. I know Peak gets all excited about the story and the lore and but all this stuff behind a lot of this stuff, different stuff. But for me, it's like that's
DNA's
a card
just trying
that
to print.
No, I'm not just trying to print, but it's like it's a card that I will never probably try to go after, and a card that I'll never own, because it's like I don't think I'll ever be in a position where I could justify like $50K for like a coughing bro, you can get a badass boat for $50K. You know what I mean? Or I can have like a lot of really, really cool
You
stuff.
get
So
a
it's like,
depreciating asset for $50K, dude. That's
or
fine.
put it into SPY or put it into a really good dividend stock or literally anything.
But
It's
dude, like the numbers that that's the thing though, is like
I understand what you're
just
saying. Is like
desensitize yourself. Like it's somebody who has $20 million, like 50K is like nothing. So like it's less about like the amount subjective to each other and thinking like, when will this ever come up? Like, or how
but
like
the
it's
difference
really
though
cool.
is like I don't really care too much, I guess, and it's because it's like I want to try to like enjoy and appreciate stuff that I can like obtain, I guess, where
I see.
Yeah, so that's
I mostly appreciate stuff that I cannot obtain. So, or I won't say cannot. I won't put it out there, but I would say
probably won't.
stuff that I probably won't be able to justify to myself, like spending that amount of capital or leveraging myself to actually acquire. And but that being said, like I just think that like those cards are in demand, and I don't like snap cards because they're expensive. Like I love, like you said, the lore, the story. Like the harder it was to get, like that's the coolest thing.
All right, I'm fucking sick of this fucking blasphemy.
Snap cards are the biggest prank. Pratt misspelled and company pulled on the hobby, bro. What?
What are we doing?
Do y'all posers own Pokemon Snap? I do actually own Pokemon Snap. I do.
Good point.
It's at my parents' house. So
I have a snap machine.
You have a snap machine for real?
No.
Okay, fuck, dude. I was about to come over to your house right now.
I think Old School Pokemon has one, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
I think he bought one. Yeah, I think I saw it in a video. Either him or DJ Gigabyte. One of those two guys has it.
I can't legally spell it right. That's funny. Nice.
No, but snaps are dope. I think it's cool that we've finally seen like the last one surface, and I think the only thing that will top that is if we see a completed set, because we've never seen a completed set of snap cards ever. And what's crazy is to be able to pull like those people. I think it was 8 people, maybe. I could be wrong. How many different ones there are, I'm not counting right now. But like to find all those people across the world and be like, give me one of this card. Not that you're going to buy it all from the original owner, but like just the logistics of finding all of them and putting them all in one collection is like insane. Like,
yeah, you have like SM Pratt and Charlie and all these people, and the Max Mofo pulls up with his Gyarados.
Right.
That was fucking goat shit right there. When Max bought that, I was like, "Holy shit, dude!
How much did you buy it for?" I remember watching
like
the video.
50K, or no, it wasn't 50K. It's worth it. I think in the title it says 50K, but he got a really good deal. Like, because the story behind it basically was he auctioned it, and the guy didn't get what he wanted for it, or he had to wait to pay him like 3 or 4 days, and the guy thought he wasn't going to pay, so he canceled it. He auctioned again. Max wanted it again for like a few $100,000 or like $1 million yen cheaper, and then he ended up like selling it to him, so it ended up working out in his favor, because the thing behind it was they thought that since it auctioned twice that it was like a fake listing kind of thing. So and his buddy in Japan went and picked it up.
It's good to have people that you can trust in these places to go get it.
Out here in the streets.
I'm just laughing at Walrus right now. Systematically removing his chat goat status every comment.
It's almost 1 a.m. He's just talking mad. He's just talking out of his ass right now.
I mean, his last comment's pretty damn true though.
Logan's BGS 10s is a true 10 too.
Yeah.
I had quite a few conversations about that actually this past weekend about the BGS population control.
Bro,
and certain
BGS,
people who have one of ones.
It's all
and
subjective.
PGC. I mean, and PSA, dude. That fucking illustrator ain't no 10, bro. All of Logan's cards are 9s. Dark.
Retro said, I stay with Walrus. That's funny.
Oh, fuck you, Retro. I'm done with you, too. This is all right. We're going to end it. I'm sick of the chat at this point.
Deuces, everybody.
I'm done.
I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for the invite. This is fun.
The invite, Thrifty. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for this is your first time on the channel, Peak, so I'm happy to have you, buddy. And
it is. I want to do it. I want to do it again soon. I'm obviously, hanging out in my garage, chilling with my piano,
Yeah,
or
dude.
somebody said I'm in Dave Person's Cali mansion. Let's definitely do this once I get into the new place and
Yeah,
actually
we'll
have an office to office
get
out
a
of.
cribs tour, dude. That'll be fire.
That would be fun. Yeah, let's
All
do it
right.
again soon for sure.
All right, jokers. We will see you all next time. Thank you for watching. I love y'all.